Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're doing another stream. This time we're coaching. Last stream was an absolute disaster. Things did not work out according to plan. I played 3 games of ranked, got tilted off the face of the planet immediately. And then I returned to the ashes to be reborn once more. Today we're doing just coaching. Top of 100 cast coaching. I'm changing the Twitch thing, sorry. Cast coaching plus macro. And depending on how many VODs we have, we may also take a gander at some pro analysis. So it's just going to depend. I'm not going to say for sure, but we will perhaps investigate. We are live coaching with coaching. I just pinged the Discord real quick. I also spelled this wrong. Okay. And then we're going to get this show on the road. I hope everyone's been doing well today. Timmy, good to see you, bro. Hope you're doing good on this fine Monday. We do have a patch tomorrow. No patch tomorrow. Sorry. If there was, very likely not. Last week was mid-season. Okay, so we didn't really get anything. We won't get anything. I don't think there's going to be any hotfixes or anything. The only thing they might change is the Tracer nerf is a little bit brutal. I don't know if you guys have seen the clips on like Reddit and stuff like that, and also on TikTok, but the spread on Tracer is a little bit brutal. It's a lot of RNG if you hit your shots or not. I mean, this is an extreme example, but it can be pretty brutal at times, the amount of pellets you hit versus what you don't hit. Like, I hit a 1 clip there. There's going to be a time where I don't even 1 clip her. Let's see. No, I mean, maybe in this distance I will. But anyway, it's pretty brutal. So they might change something about this, but I don't even think that. I think Tracer is still really strong. A lot of her value isn't in her burst damage or lethality, but it's just, she just has so much mobility. There's a lot you can do, especially in higher elo. In lower elo, a lot of Tracer players make more mistakes, so they're more susceptible to die, but the higher you go, the less likely that is to happen. But anyway, so we're probably not going to have a patch tomorrow. Yeah, there's just probably not going to be a patch tomorrow. I have not really been playing Cass as much. I've been thinking about getting back into playing Cass every day. I won't stream it, but just play more every day. I do play the game with friends in my free time, but I don't solo queue that often. Right now, I'm solo queuing Doomfist on an alt account, and I'm currently like plat 1. And the reason I'm practicing Doomfist is probably my worst hero in the entire game of Overwatch. I suck at Doomfist horrendously. I'm awful at Doomfist. So I am kind of going through the motions of learning again with Doomfist, and it's reigniting my love for the game. It's also helped me untilt, so that's good. And I'm also someone that's very susceptible to tilting, so getting some Doomfist therapy has helped me. Lucky solo queue unless sorry, my thing's in the way. Lucky solo queue unless someone asks me. What do you mean? You're lucky to solo queue? You're always duoing, you're always stacking? I think solo queuing is the most effective way to learn, for sure. Like, without a doubt in my mind. There's so much you can get from solo queuing over playing with duos and stuff like that. It also gives you more room to be constructive, but you also can't shift the blame on anyone else. It's at least harder. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and hop into the coaching for today. We do have a coaching. We do have a VOD from Pocket. We have a code from Montana, and we have codes from Timmy. So we're gonna do 1 Montana code first. Then we're going to do 1 Pocket code. Then we will do 1 of Timmy's 3 codes or more. And then from there, we can evaluate if we want to do pro analysis or not. So we're going to do this Montana code on, let's see. We'll do this Montana code on Samoa. And then we'll go from there. Hope everyone's been doing well today, though. Montana, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We're about to go over your code. And I hope everyone's doing great. I do think, so I've been doing some thinking. Right now, I'm assembling many clips for TikTok. We talked about this before. but I'm assembling many clips for TikTok, of which I will send you eventually, Montana. And though I'm getting like 20 clips, I have like 9 to 10 right now. I'm gonna get 20 clips all done and ready to go, and then I'm gonna start a TikTok push. The reason I'm not doing it right now is because I know if I do it, I'm just going to, yeah, I haven't forgotten. The reason I'm not pushing TikTok or anything right now is I'm not gonna be able to keep it up. I just don't have the energy for it. It's literally just a discipline issue, which is my fault, and I take accountability for that. So I'm going to stockpile all the clips until I'm ready for a good push, and then we'll go through them. Just send me them as early as possible so I can give feedback for the next turn. Okay, yeah, we can do that. I can do that. I can do that probably tomorrow. I can have them for you. But anyway, yes, I'm waiting so I can do a push and like not burn myself out, because the problem is it just gets to be a bunch and I get overwhelmed. Anyway, it's a whole story. But we're gonna do that. I also have a couple other things I'm working on. Long-term goals. I think I've figured out the heroes of which I want to coach long-term. But we'll make that a whole event. I'm going to coach tank, support, and DPS, but it's only going to be like 2 heroes per role. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's not going to be Sojourn, okay? Just for the record, everybody, I'm not going to coach Sojourn. So it's going to be Cassidy for DPS, and then for support, it's for sure going to be Kiriko. For sure going to be Kiriko. And then for tank, I have a few ideas, but I don't know for certain. But it's for sure going to be Cassidy and Kiriko. But Kiriko won't be for a while. I won't start doing support for a while. But support will be the next role. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Ana and Cass are the same, to be honest. I would say Kiriko is closer to Cassidy than Ana is, for sure. Especially, I think in terms of how you have to think about playmaking, how you have to think about rotations, I think Kiriko and Cassidy are a lot more similar to Ana. Ana is more like, I mean, you can kind of see it in the weapon. It's more like an Ashe, right? Anyway, lots of things going on. I also have, my semester's coming to an end, so I will have more time to work on streaming related things. I did make some new graphics for the stream. We do have these, which I will put up. We do have these, right? But I made even nicer ones that look really cool. They're like badges. I'll put them up later. I have to finish, I think, 1 or 2 more, and then I'll have them up. I just have to switch out the files as well. But there's a bunch of stuff in the pipeline, okay? Bunch of stuff is being made. There was a Discord revision that was about to happen, but I postponed that because I felt like it was kind of pointless. But we will get there. Anyway, that was the update for me. We're gonna go ahead and hop into the code. Samoa, good map for Cassidy. Generally, if you're playing Cassidy, you should generally prefer King of the Hill maps. Why? Because there's a lot of angling that's available to you, right? If we zoom out like this, well, it's kind of hard to do on this map, unfortunately. Okay, we'll instead go to a more isometric angle. Did you make a GM6 one yet? I have not. That's, we'll add it to the list. But the thing about Samoa in control in general is control is generally designed to have 3 lanes, right? So we have lane 1 here, which is this high ground. Then we have a lane 2, which will go down main like this. And then you'll have another lane generally. Like on this map, this 3rd lane doesn't really exist too much, but it is there. And as a result, there's a lot of rotations you can make on Cassidy that are very valuable to him, and they play in his effective range, right? So you can play in the, for lane 1 and deny rotations like this, or you can play for lane 2, play this cover and shoot down main, or you can hard flank like this and shoot backline as well. There's a lot of options available for you on control maps. This philosophy doesn't really exist on some other maps, particularly when it comes to escort type maps. These lanes are a lot less obvious, or they'll be inaccessible to Cassidy. Good examples of this are going to be stuff like Paraiso, stuff like parts of King's Row, things like that, where it's more one lane, and if there are flanks, it's on high grounds. Cassidy's just not going to be good in those situations, right? So this is why you want to look for maps like Control whenever you're playing Cassidy, like Push, like Control. What are the games you want? Like Flashpoint, because they're going to open up more playmaking for your hero, okay? So you should generally vote for these maps. Anyway, we're going to go into the gameplay here. Okay, here we're gonna we see where our team is. This is good awareness. You check where your team is. You see everyone is going main. Okay, what do? We open up an angle on the right side. Okay, perfect. So here, just keep in mind you're playing alone. So if you need to, just be ready to back up and rotate back to your team. Here, you see that they're monkey. Okay, cool. So this is going to be a VOD. I don't know if... Does he play monkey the whole game? Let's see. Hazard. Okay, that's also a good tank. Hazard. Okay. So we're going to be playing Cassidy into a dive E tank, which is going to be good. It's going to be very informative because whenever you're playing against tanks like Diva, like Winston, like Hazard, number one skill you need to work on in these matchups is identifying when you're the dive target. Okay. And this is going to be a clear indication of this. So here, as we can see, our hero Montana walks forward to take space on the angle away from his team. Important note here is that he is alone, right? The closest person to him is actually a galaxy away, right? There's no one that can help him. He's obviously isolated. So as he takes his angle into the monkey matchup, he needs to be aware of when the monkey is posturing to dive him. So here, take a look at the monkey. Here, as he peeks main, he should just see monkey and be like, okay, I need to play passive or more passive with more awareness so that I don't get dove. Here, he sees the monkey looking at him. He should understand that this monkey has the posture to dive him right now. His number one priority should be to, if he's close, throw flashbang, but he's far here. So his number one priority should be, as Timmy just mentioned in chat, a principle called distance management or space management. Okay, either one. I normally call it spacing, but they're the same concepts. Okay, so he needs to practice good distance and space management and dive out immediately. Okay, roll out immediately. So he should be hitting shift, backing up, and then playing this angle to catch the monkey dive and continuing to back up. Okay, if he's late in this rotation, he will die. He will die. So here, he rolls out a little bit late. So he takes early damage on the monkey engage. And he's 100% dead. Okay, so this can be attributed to two issues. Number one, bad space management and cooldown usage, right? We needed to see that we're being dove and roll immediately. That's number one. Number two is that we should read the monkey, understand that we are positioned to be the dive target. Why are we the dive target, guys? Well, it's either the monkey can go forward and attack 4 people down main, or he can attack the isolated guy on the angle. Obviously, he's going to pick the isolated guy. Okay, so the mistake we made had nothing to do with taking the angle. It has everything to do with our execution of the play on the angle. Bad timing too. Yeah, you are slightly early here. You are slightly early, but that's really contingent on being in the dive. Well, he didn't really know he's in the dive matchup. So you can also argue timing, but I don't think that's too bad because we should have been able to live this anyway with good cooldown management and spacing. So yeah. Anyway, so correct play here would be to roll out immediately. Like here, he needed to roll out immediately. Shooting here is fine, but you just shoot after you roll. It would be way more effective here. I don't know if you live, but you live longer, and maybe you get healing from your Curie or Bapter. Anyway. Okay, now we're back. So I would also keep in mind, it's still good to play an angle. You just have to be aware of the monkey, right? Where's monkey? Am I the dive target? Okay, now we wait for our team. Running back down main, break shield. Okay, this roll, don't like this roll that much. Break this. Don't really like the roll forward. If you're going to roll it all for uptime here to burst the monkey, I'd actually prefer you just roll into this thing here just for the reload, fan the monkey again, and then throw flash or something like that. I don't really like us rolling forward here. Monkey uses all CDs. Yeah, but you can, I don't really think it makes a difference in how you play. I don't think rolling forward is, okay, I'm tripping over my own words. Jeez. Okay, I still don't think rolling forward is better. I still don't think it's better here. You're rolling, you can very clearly see the entire enemy team is in front of you, right? The Fair has been spamming down main and you see both supports. Okay, you can infer everyone is there. So just maintain your distance. Here, good fan. Yeah, I just don't like us rolling forward. I think just roll forward here in the walk. But I think the play of capitalizing on the monkey is correct. I do think it's correct. I just would have rolled differently. Okay. Take an angle. Here you could have probably played in main, just as a note. So when you're up, especially whenever you're up something like a tank, playing in main is generally fine because it's all about pressing the advantage, right? So you're just going to walk it down on this Ashe, walk it down on the Pharaoh, whatever. So, and also on this map, this is very map specific. If you take this angle, you actually can't see them at all as they rotate out. So basically, if you came on this angle, your play would be to walk through here and shoot them as they make the rotation back to spawn. So I personally would have probably just stayed main, walk forward on this Mercy, like this, and then walk forward on the Ashe, walk forward on the Pharaoh, so on and so forth. But I don't think this principle is wrong. I think it's actually good to do this. It's just that in this situation, whenever we're up tank, I would just walk it down main. Nice shots. I don't mind the flash. I think it's okay. So here we make the rotation. So this would be where scouting and information would be very helpful. Your team, you don't actually know it because you don't have the vision, but the entire enemy team is out main. So if you did look for this play, it'd be too late. It'd be way too late. So we shouldn't be looking to flank here. And more just waiting in main for something. You would probably look to deny this rotation. So how I would play this is if I came to this angle, I would peek and then realize, oh, there's no one here. As in use my sound cues, right? If I don't hear anybody in main or on this lane, I'm like, okay, the rotation is going to take me too long. I'm just going to play left side, right? And just play for an angle. Yeah, at this point, I would have probably, you know, the fight hasn't even started yet. I think it might be fine. I think it might be fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I thought the enemy team was going to dive already, but they didn't. They actually didn't. There's no fight happening, really. Oh, wait, they are in. Hold on. Let's investigate. It's just trading backlines. I think this play's fine. I think this play's fine. Really good. Really good. The only thing I was going to say is that what's really good is that your monkey dives instead of just shooting the enemy monkey. So he's in. If this didn't happen, then I think waiting and just killing monkey is your better play, like this. But because our monkey's in, it's actually good. I think this gamble's worth it for sure. Okay. Nice kill. Alright, I think the Deadeye is fine. Once again, we just have lane control here. Rolling forward there, I think is okay. I'm not a big fan of it. But here... Ah, man, you took a ton of damage. I think leaving is correct. I do think leaving is correct. We get healing, and then... Oh, okay. I don't like the rotation. I think if we were going to do this, your idea shouldn't have been to go to main. Your idea should have been to walk into the room here. I would have just walked into the room. Because even if you eat a Pharaoh rocket here, you can just walk back. So just, I think the idea is good. I would have chosen a different rotation, but whatever. But now you're deep. And this is kind of the problem. Because you choose this main rotation, how do you rotate out of this angle, right? If you take a bunch of damage, well, the only way really is to walk back through this room. But if you made this rotation to begin with, you would have maybe not even left the room, and the rotation back is easier. So I don't really like the rotation through main here. So let's see this. Yeah. So also, when the problem is because you're playing into the Pharaoh Wu Yang matchup, you just can't walk into the room or you're going to die to rockets. So this is I don't even know what issue this is. This is like a rotation issue. It's just kind of bad map geometry for you to rotate like this. I don't even know how I would describe this. Because here, I just don't know why you would walk through main. I understand why you walk toward main here rather than flanking, because you could think to yourself that flanking is going to take too long. I think you maybe think they're in main, but you should have there's no audio cues to indicate that they're right here. So I don't know. I don't know. But yes, so you die there because you just take the wrong rotation. You needed to go through the hallway. And then you could have just played the hallway safely and poked out backline. It would have been stronger. Okay, so here. Walk it down main. Good shots on Pharah. Okay, this is fine. Whoops. Are you looking for a game you played versus dive? Yeah, we can take a look at those. Here, yeah, I was about to say, you can just walk out with Deadeye and it's going to be strong. So in situations like this, where you're getting stuffed in choke, Deadeye can be very useful in breaking these holds because you can get, you're definitely going to get support pocket here. No doubt in my mind that you're about to get support pocket. You're with your entire team. And what's going to be good about this is the damage resistance is going to help you get through choke. And do you also have the Deadeye perk? You do. So that makes this even stronger. So this is a really good Deadeye. 10 out of 10. I actually love this from you. Great job. Oh, I would not have drawn though. So the idea, your idea here should not be to kill the Pharah. Your idea here should be to make space for your team. So what we should be doing is just popping Deadeye and just holding W key, right? Because we know we're with our team, we're stuck in choke. We need to use this to get out of choke. You should not be drawing on this Pharah. Unless, does she even have red skulls? She doesn't even have red skulls. So I don't even really see the reason why we would drop here. Right, just hold Deadeye, walk it down main. You're going to open up a ton of space for your team. All of these guys are going to have to back up like this. And then your monkey can just do whatever he wants for free. So yeah, I think you should have just held Deadeye here through and through. Okay. Nice shot. Great use of window. Great mechanics, by the way, Montana. Great mechanics. If you have any codes against Timmy, if you have any codes against ball, those would be the most useful. Or like a ball tracer. Because he's playing into like ball, Pharah, Cass right now, and it's an easier matchup. You have Doom. Okay, that would work as well. We can take a look at that. Your I forgot what that map's called. Volcano looks very winning. Very winning. Capitology video made my aim good for a few matches again. Oh, I haven't seen that new cap video yet. I do need to watch it. There's a bunch of videos I need. The new cap one I need to watch. I watched his other one about the OWCS pros, which I mean, yeah. Looking for a dive comp matchup. All right, let me know if you find one. We'll take a look. Dives are against. I'm looking for ones that have more like double flex DPS dive, like complete dives with no hit scan, or it's like Tracer Sojourn. Okay, so here. It implies Think Say is kind of only good for 50% of aiming scenarios. Yeah, I mean, Think Say, I've known that Think Say isn't going to be a perfect translation to comp games. The only reason I ever really recommended Think Say is because it teaches good fundamentals, aiming techniques. The technique I've used for aiming so far due to Think Say was completely wrong, not gonna lie. Oh, really? We'll have to talk about it later. We'll go through this VOD and then we can hop into it. Think Say teaches mouse control and tracking. Yeah, well, I think Think Say is a good tech. It's a good exploration in being intentional. I think it's very, very good at displaying how intention can actually improve your aim or mechanics or something like that. I've always known it's not going to be like it's not going to translate to you one tapping a tracer. It sometimes does. You can feel it sometimes, but it's more of just like a good demonstration of how you can be very intentional and get benefit, tangible benefit here. Okay. Anyway, so we roll out left side. You should hear hazard here and choose not to roll, by the way. This is a mistake. So this is a sound cue awareness issue. Not having roll here is really bad. Yep. So you don't have roll there, and then you almost die to the engage. So that's an awareness issue or a matchup issue, kind of depending on what you think. If you heard the hazard and you chose to roll anyway, then that's a matchup issue. If you didn't hear the hazard, that's an awareness issue. Good angle though. Nice shot. I also like the target priority. The fair is too far away. Now you roll forward on this. After everyone went to cover, you went to fair. Good target priority. Good job. Love this from you. Here you should be looking to go left side eventually. Here you're just like kind of stuck, but that's fine. Now we go left side. Perfect. Okay, now we're zoned out by Farah. Okay, so you make a bad rotation here. So your idea should be, as you take this angle, I actually love this from you. I think this is 100% correct. Eat this Farah rocket. Your idea should not be to reswing. Your idea should be to, because it's losing. This is for sure losing. Your idea should not be to kill her, because you're not going to win this 1v1 anymore. Your idea should be to stop her from walking into the building. Okay, deny the space. Because originally what you want to do, if we think about it like this, okay, or what you want to do originally is you want to stop the Farah from taking this space. Whoops, let me get the pen. The original idea is to stop the Farah from taking this space. Okay, this is like plan A, is to stop this. Okay, well, unfortunately, this has gone terribly and you have now lost all of this space. Plan B is to stop her from taking this space. Okay, plan B. She's probably not going to take this space, let's be honest. Her idea is going to be to do something like this and shoot your tank out, like spam out your tank. But your idea is to stand in here, because if you deny plan B from her, if she doesn't come in this room, well, guess what? If she does go for this flank play on your tank like this, well, now you can counter that by flanking her like this. Okay, so your idea should not be to win here. You don't need to win. You just need to make sure she doesn't get this building, because if she gets the building, that'll stop you from being able to counter her play to shoot your tank. Okay, does that make sense? Right? In this game of rock, paper, scissors, you just need to wait, deny this angle, then whenever she goes to shoot your tank like this, that's when you flank. Okay, so your idea here should not be to win this 1v1 with the Farah. Your idea here should be to live and, more importantly, move to the left side, because also, if you didn't know, there's a mega here. Okay, so you can also grab this mega and then come back and deny the angle if you want or whatever. Okay, so we play this a little bit unoptimally. That's also a good clip. I have a Diva Soj Lucio match. Okay, that'll work. That will work. Hello. But is it Omindo? I think that's how you say your name. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. But yeah, we played that matchup completely wrong. The angle was good though, so keep taking that angle, but we just played the matchup wrong. Bang, shoot the Farah. Holy moly. Honestly, I understand the Farah and the hazard is here. Yeah, but I would just leave. I'm just leaving. I'm still going this way. I'm still going this way. It's just way better for Cass. This side of the map sucks. Also, you kind of want to be on the opposite side of the map of hazard. If this guy is near you, you are going to die. Hazard counters you, for sure. He just does so much burst damage. Yeah, we're just not really going to be able to do anything, right? The problem with this map is, in this matchup, what is going on? My game is like bugged out. What is going on? There we go. Okay, the problem with this map in the matchup is that you have a Farah and you have a, so you're playing against a Farah and then a Mercy Pocket, a Farah, and an Ashe. I mean, the Ashe stands at the back of the map and just shoots you from every single angle, so you can't really walk out main here. So your best plays are like walk to this lane, or you can hard flank through this way and come up the stairs. This just takes forever, so I don't really recommend. The right side just takes forever. So I don't really like that. And then this, I like this a lot more as cover. It's in your effective range, whatever, right? So I generally prefer coming to the left side of the map, and then you can hard flank the Ashe, hard flank the hazard, whatever. And then if the hazard and the Farah come to mark you on the left flank, all you have to do is live, and there's a ton of cover. You have this wall you can use. You can walk into the building if you need to. There's a mini here as well. Don't forget that. And then you can also rotate back. And then generally this is too far. The enemy team won't push probably past this point. So I love the left side of the map way more than I do anywhere else for Cassidy. I would generally prefer that over anything. Unless there's like already a hazard there or something. But yeah. Okay, so that's a staging issue for me. I just don't think you should be on that side of the map. I think we should be on the left side. Yeah, here I wouldn't come right again. I would just go left. Oh, they have an AFK. I don't even know who they were. I don't really like, I mean, I think the idea that Deadeye is fine to take space with it, but I think you could have chose a better angle. I think this angle is actually stronger. You know what? This one might be better actually, because you're with your team. And if you're going to use the Deadeye to make space, being with your team is important. So I think this is fine. I think it's probably fine. Let's watch it again. You're definitely thinking about Deadeye correctly. Also, rolling there, I mean, it's probably fine, actually. I don't know. It's either Deadeye from the right side or main. I don't really know which one is better. I have Diva, Echo, Sombra, Tracer. Yeah, that one's better. That's a better code. That's going to be a really hard code for Cass, depending on what your backline is. Good target priority. Okay, this is cool. Shoot the Pharah. Is the rest of this game just a 4v5? No, he comes back. Okay. Okay. On the left side of the map, you had a Juno Mercy. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at that one. Well, we have another code right before yours, but we'll look at that in a second. I love the Deadeye, by the way. Great Deadeye. Good distance, good coverage. They don't have cover. Is it risky? Yes. But you do have the Deadeye perks that works in your advantage. And I think the range is good. Like, I think it's all good. I think the risk reward is here for sure. Bang. Nice job. It will get res, which is a little bit unfortunate, but whatever. You could argue that you should wait for the fight to start. So here, what you can do is, where's your tank at? So one thing you don't know is where your tank is. Oh, you do kind of look to see where your team is. So you're the initiator. And why is your monkey not engaging? Oh, he just used bubble. Why does he bubble here? His bubble sucks. This guy does not play monkey. I think this Deadeye is winning. I think his Deadeye is winning. It's just unfortunate your monkey doesn't follow up, because your monkey just uses a really terrible bubble for no reason. I think it's generally winning. I wouldn't overthink it. And then we just the point. Whatever. I think the way you played that was generally winning. I think your mistake on this map is we should really never look to go to this side of the map. I would just avoid it. As much as I can, I would avoid this. I understand they're playing a Hazard and Pharah, but just bait the attention and live. So I don't want it to be a map issue. I would rather you have to deal with a matchup issue. How do you live the Pharah Mercy? How do you live the Hazard? How do you bait it out and not die? Those are the questions I'd rather you ask, rather than is coming to the right side of the map even worth it? Because it's not. Generally. Just not a lot you can do there. Okay. Why do I keep getting lost here? There we go. Okay. Now we're on, I think this is City Center or something. Downtown. Something like that. Here we come to the right side of the map. You see Hazard, you leave. Perfect. Now you hear him go back to main. We're just using our audio cues. So then we come back to the ankle. Ego the Ash, big fan of that. I think Ash is a horrendous character. Good reaction to that. Dive. Now he's dead. Perfect. Good tracking on Pharah. Okay, we lose her, but then we shoot back fine. This is fine. This is good positioning. I love this. This is optimal. I think this is optimal. If you can take the right side on this map as Cassidy, you generally should. All the duels are good here for you. It's close range. It's in the building. There's a mega here. And then it opens up to the staircase angle, which is extremely strong for Cass, especially if you have Silver Bullet. Extremely, extremely strong. So love it from you. Great job. And then here, the idea is to stop them from taking the side of the map, or at least make sure it's not free. It's all about denial. Okay, so if we don't really want to commit to kills, just stop them from taking the space. And then if they don't respect you or they ignore you, you can always just hard flank like this onto their backline. It's also really strong. Okay, so what happened here? Honestly, unfortunate. I don't really know why your monkey goes in here. I don't think this is a good play. I think you read this correctly. I mean, ideally we rolled backwards, because if you rolled backwards here, you would have been able to react to your monkey's dive faster. But I don't actually think you play this incorrectly. Yeah, and then you try to help the monkey, which I think is probably correct. And then you deadeye. Okay, I mean, I like the deadeye. It is, I mean, the fight's lost, though. I don't know if I would have deadeyed at this point. You should kind of infer that the deadeye is lost. I like the idea of the deadeye, though. I think the idea of it's fine. It is a little bit blind, but you're kind of screwed, so you had to go for something. I think it's, the question is, should you deadeye here or should you not when the fight's lost? I don't know. I personally wouldn't have dead-eyed, but I get why you would, so I'm not going to beat you up for it. Okay, next fight. Okay, that guy, I don't really know what that guy's doing. So this is the same kind of situation as earlier. We're up a tank here. We're down to support, but honestly, I would prefer going main here in situations like this. Because flanks are just going to take too long. So the mid fight is happening. We need to get value now. Just running down main, right? Like angles like this are fine. Good shots. Okay, we just die. I wonder if we should. So here, wait. Okay, you're down both supports here. So here, okay. Hazard's dead. Kiri's dead. Our Mercy just died there. Here, you can, especially once you see your monkey's half HP, you should just kind of assume the fight's lost. You don't have healing. There's not going to be a way to kill these guys effectively. You're the only guy full HP. It's just lost. Yeah. Yeah, that roll forward got you killed. If anything, you should be angling here, but I understand why you would go main. This one's tough. Because you could argue, I mean, if you just two-tap someone, then the fight's winning, right? I don't know. I don't know the answer on this fight. That one's a little bit awkward. Because I can see why you would walk forward. But I can also see why you would live. Because you're down both supports. So you might as well just wait. And then if you wait, you'll have a stronger retake. Because you'll also be there faster. So I don't know. Here, why do we not go to the right side of the map? So here I would definitely rotate. I mean, we're already coming back from spawn. I would just come this way and look for this rotation. Because then you'd have a flank. Because look at where your whole team is. All of you guys are in main. Everyone is in main. If you came to the right side, you'd be on a flank and you'd be opening up more angles for your team. So I think coming right is definitely correct here. So I think that's a staging issue. And then here, I think you just ego the fair, I'll be honest. I think you just come here and win the 1v1. You know she's there. I mean, you didn't know that she was in a room, but you would have coincidentally fought her while she's stuck in a room, which I think is winning for you. I wonder, should you even take the 1v1, actually? Okay, what's the count here? So the cast died. So you're up 1. We don't have point control. We have a Kitsune going. I mean, I guess you have all the space. You don't actually need to take the 1v1 here. So I think actually taking the 1v1 would have been wrong. Because you have all the space, you have an ulti going. It's just, how would you have recognized that in the moment is kind of my thing. I don't know. Trying to get her out of backline due to barrage. Yeah, I think you can clear her. I think I would have cleared her for sure. I for sure would have fought her. Because I think that fight's winning for me. Because how I would have done it is I would have just turned the corner and like threw the flashbang as I turned the corner. And then I would have peeked and then like two-tapped her or whatever and it would have been over. So I definitely would have fought her there. But I just trying to reason why. Because I also think not fighting her has merit too. I would have cleared her. I think clearing her is better because now she's stuck there. But I also think, given the information you had, clearing her was better. And then you could argue, should you have more information? And then that would be like an information issue. As in, where's my tank? Where's the enemy tank? So on and so forth. I like the Deadeye. You know the hazard is in, so you're going to isolate the hazard out or force him out. And you're on a good angle. Good. Good Deadeye. I think rolling here is fine. This is good. I also think rolling here is fine due to sound cues. Just want to point this out. So here, you know, you hear the Pharaoh is still there. So getting there is a little bit time sensitive. I think it's fine. Oh, whoops, I missed this. Okay. Good target priority. True hazard, drop off. That's sick. Just keep rotating out. Wow, that Wu Yang actually just demolished you. That's insane. We get 2-0, and now we're chilling. Good. Good shot on Pharaoh. Play the right side of the map. Ooh. Okay, get healing from Cat or Mercy. Okay, don't walk forward here is the only issue. The end of this VOD is why I hate Wu Yang. Let's see. It's not really a Wu Yang issue. Why are you walking forward in this duel? Look at Cass's POV. Look at this. Notice how little your model moves left to right in this 1v1, okay? That's what I want you to notice. Okay, so here he is. He rolls forward, which is wrong, but whatever. Look. Your character moves maybe an inch to the left in that whole altercation. Okay? So the issue here is nothing to do with, yeah, you explode. Does it actually suck that Wu Yang is also here? Yes. But why is it easy for this Cassidy to get a headshot on you? Because you're walking toward him. Why is it easy for this Wu Yang to hit a shot on you? Because you're not even strafing left and right. You're walking toward him. So do I hold the corner? Yeah, you just hold it. You would, if you wanted to take the 1v1 in the open, you would do like this and then roll back to cover when you take damage. Or you would just stay here and stop them from taking space, right? Because it's not about killing them. It's about denying this space from the enemies. To be fair, Wu Yang would have hit it anyway. I mean, yeah, but we can't really control that. We can only control how we play the fight, right? Like, your number one mistake here is for sure walking forward. It doesn't make any sense. Getting closer to this guy doesn't make any sense. The idea should be to... Because this tells me you're thinking about the angle fundamentally incorrectly. Which is, after you get put in a losing situation, which is this. This is a losing situation. Rolling out is correct. This is good. Okay, and then you get mercy healing. This is still losing for you. He has a winging pocket as well. You have a mercy pocket. It's like losing to neutral, okay? And in situations like this, your idea should be to stop them from taking space from you and then rotate. Flank them if you want, or fight them over here. That's how you would do this. You wouldn't walk toward them. That just puts you at a disadvantage. When you want to blame someone else, but it's actually you. Okay, as much as I also blame other people, 90% of the time, there's something you could have done better. 90% of the time. And then in the 10% of the time, there's not something you can do better. Why do we care? Why do we, it doesn't really make a difference anyway. But yeah. Your Samoa looks winning. I liked your Samoa. Looks very winning to me. Just micro. You know how to play the map. It's just micro. You have to take better duels. You have to be tighter with your micro there. But your macro is great. I thought it was very, very winning. It's obvious to me that you know how to play Samoa. So great job. There's a few staging issues, like coming out of spawn. I wanted you to come right side. Lots of small different micro mistakes. There wasn't one major issue. There were a few issues. Like I think at one point on these fights you needed to come right side. I think it was better, and that's a doubling up issue. That's an off angle kind of thing. And then you had a few, like 1 or 2 awareness issues, and then there was 1 or 2 just bad rotations in mid fights. So I would say nothing in particular this VOD. No particular issue. You can pick one of the things I mentioned and work on that. There was nothing in particular. I felt like your awareness was generally good. There were a few mistakes like rolling when you knew there was a hazard next to you, but generally good. Okay, Ben, maybe I'm just gonna play more to get micro good. Well, just to like be specific, what I mean by micro in your situation is like, why are we walking forward in a duel? Okay, why reading where the dive target, stuff like that. It's not positional. You're not making as many positional errors as other people would be, is what I'm saying. It's not a positional errors are the easiest thing to fix because it's just map knowledge and understanding the matchup, which is a lot of knowledge oriented stuff. Here it's a lot of executionist mistakes, mid-fight rotations are mistakes, stuff like that. I think I'm just working on audio cues. Yeah, probably. That'd probably be a good thing for you. Actually, I know what I'll do. I'm gonna ask myself when I control an angle whether I want to take space or control the space. Since against the fair monkey, yes. Yeah, actually, this is good because you actually died to that twice. By the way, you died to. So remember when you fought this Pharaoh here? That was that mistake. Why are we fighting this Pharaoh? The idea should be to deny the space from Farah, not to fight her and kill her. That doesn't really matter. It's just deny the angle, right? So you made that mistake there, and then you also made that mistake at the end of the game. Same mistake. This angle. Why are we fighting this so aggressively? You just need to deny the rotation from the enemies. That's it. Same concept. Yeah, that would be something worth practicing, right? When you're on an angle, should you go for the kill or should you just deny the rotation? When I fight, tracer matchups are a really good example of this. Should you go for tracers or should you just deny the rotation? So yeah. Okay, this was a good code. Lots of minor things, no major mistakes, but good code otherwise. Okay, we have a new code from Pocket, who I don't know if I've reviewed before, so we're gonna take a look at this. And he said, we won, but I got hard carried by my team and I was getting farmed by Hazard. I also think I've missed really important shots. So first of all, Pocket, welcome to the community. He is Pillboy in game, so we're gonna take a look at this. And he is, for rank, he is silver. So Noah Masters right now, silver. For me, it's 50-50 on tracers. I assume that's what you're talking about. This is you? All right, cool, man. We're going to take a look at your gameplay. If you have any questions as we go, just let me know. Tip 1, don't play cats on this map. You can, like, this map is not great for cast, that's for sure. But it's not unplayable. It's just awkward. It's just awkward. It's the only issue. Shambali is a lot of map knowledge because just running it down on main is generally not going to get you very far. So this should be a very educational VOD for you. Plastic, good to see you, by the way. But yeah, we will take a look here. Also, you might have crosshair placement issues. We will still... Let's take a look for crosshair placement real quick. Okay. Error 1. Error 2. Okay, wait. We will still review this, but I will point this out. Error 3. Okay, that one's fine. That's fine. Error 4. Error 5. Error 6. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna call you Pillboy because it's easier to say. Or I guess I'll call you Pocket. Okay, Pocket. Number one issue is you have a really bad crosshair placement issue. Okay, we will still review the code, but it is bad. So one thing to understand about first-person shooters and Overwatch in general is that your idea should be to minimize the amount of distance you have to move your crosshair before you shoot an enemy. And as a result, you never want to be aiming at the floor. Ever. Pretty much ever. Right? So, okay, I mean, actually, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. Maybe my check was just fraudulent. My check might have been fraudulent. Okay, actually, it might actually look fun. My check was somehow fraudulent. Yeah, no, it's actually fine. Okay, I was about to go on this whole thing. Never mind. This is actually fine. Honestly, I've come to like Shambali. I didn't know this map was one of the worst Cassidy maps. It's not like the worst. It's not a Para-ESO, okay? Para-ESO is probably the worst Cassidy map in the entire game. So, it's not Para-ESO, but it is not great. Particularly third point. Third point Shambali is not good for Cass. On attack especially. Not good. But on first and second, you can make him work. It's fine. You can make it winning. As long as you know like what good rotations are, then you're fine. Anyway. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about crosshair placement. I think my skips through my check was fraudulent. So we're gonna skip that conversation. Long story short, aim at head level at all times, no matter what. Otherwise, you'll bleed value every single fight. Okay, here, immediate mistake. So how you should think about this? Overwatch, if you need one way to think about Overwatch, you must understand that Overwatch is one on the angle, okay? Which you seem to understand to some degree because you're on this left side and you choose to shoot down main rather than being, you know, here on cart and shooting down main. So we're already making one thing correct. But your idea should be to take even more space here, okay? Start coming left side. Think about where's the enemy team? Am I going to get engaged on? What space can I take for free, okay? What can I do for my team? Can I open up a flank? Stuff like that. I would honestly already be walking left side here and shooting the Malga from the angle and getting ready to roll away from him if he engages on me, or going even deeper and killing the Wu Yang. I don't really know what I would do, but I'd do one or the other, just kind of depending on the situation. And then, yeah, so I would be looking to take some space on the left side here aggressively. I wouldn't even shoot these guys, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't even shoot them. I would just rotate. Just go take the space. Because now, here's the problem. You take 70 damage, and now you demand healing, okay? I don't know if you realize this, but there's actually a mega here you could have grabbed as well. But the problem is, whenever you demand healing in Overwatch, that now makes it where the Moira, she can't throw an orb for another 8 seconds, okay? This Life Weaver made an entire rotation just to heal you, okay? So look at this. Weaver's here. He's healing the tank. And then bam, he sees your critical HP, no longer healing tank, and now he's healing you. And then he walks forward to heal you even more. And the reason I point this out is because whenever you take damage, not only does it stop you from making plays, it also stops your healers from making plays. Okay, so taking damage is bad. We should not be taking damage. And we coincidentally, if we were on this flank, we would have taken no damage, which means that our tank gets pocketed while walking down main, and then we are resource light on the angle. Okay, so taking damage here, number one mistake. Number two mistake is we should have just rotated and not tandem main and all. Here, same idea, right? You should use your sound cues to know that there's nobody on the top left here. You don't hear anybody shooting their gun there. So just continue your rotation. Continue your rotation. Take as much space as you can for free and come here and shoot them. It's more aggressive, yes, but there's no one there. No need to just sit here for 2 seconds and shoot. Just keep rotating. Just keep rotating. Okay, what is your sensitivity? Do you know by chance, Pocket? I would need to know your in-game sensitivity and your mouse DPI. This is really winning, by the way. Good job. I mean, mechanically, we can be doing better, but whatever. The idea of what you're doing here is good. I think it's 5 cents. Okay. What is your mouse DPI? If you know. Okay, so here, this is a distance management or a spacing issue. This is just too close to Maga. The problem with this match, and this is also, you could also call it a matchup issue. The problem with stuff like this is Maga can just charge you and you're like 100% dead. I don't want to be mean, but most of my friends who are low elo don't know what DPI is. That's fine. If you don't know, Pillboy, what mouse do you have? And then we can work backwards to figure out what your DPI is. Like if you have a Razer mouse, I can tell you how to do that. 600 DPI. I assume that's supposed to be 1600, not 600. 600 times 5, 3000. Oh, your sense is fine. If it's actually 600 DPI instead of 1600, then your sense is fine. 3000 DPI sounds fine to me. Because what's mine? Mine's 1600, 2.7 or something like that. Which is around the same as yours. So I think that's fine. Okay. So your macro generally good on first point. Great job. So the issue I have with this rotation here is it would have been fine earlier when the Malga was dead, but the Malga is alive now, right? And we know he's alive because he's shooting his gun in main. So, but the problem I have with this is that now you're walking toward the Malga, and this is bad distance management or spacing, okay? So you're walking toward a Malga that has an ability that can stun you, and you're also isolated, right? You do have a Weaver with you, but it's going to be really easy for the enemy team to collapse on you on this room. Do you have an off angle? Yeah, but also keep in mind, the cart isn't pushed up very far, right? Your Arist is here, your Frey is here, and your Wu Yang or your Moira just died, right? So you're going to be very isolated, and now you are the obvious target for the enemy team to engage on, so you are very likely to die in this position. Especially here, you got lucky that they didn't engage on you immediately and they said left you alone. Now you're overstaying your angle. You had the opportunity to leave. You should have took it. But now you're staying here too long, and then these guys are just going to collapse on you, right? And the principle that's you're failing here is distance management. This is bad distance management from you. So, yes. I like the angle, but it's just too close to the enemy team in this situation. Yeah, and then you just die to the main. Okay. I think he would benefit from lower senses. Aim is super jittery. Yeah, that's why I asked. His aim does look very jittery. Yeah, it does look pretty jittery. This is a really good rotation from you, by the way. Might be a tensing issue. I also think it could be, which is why I'm not. Stuff like this can be a bunch of different issues at the same time, so I'm not really going to comment on it. Because I don't really know. I'm not well versed enough to give mechanical advice. I could just talk out of my ass, but I don't think that's I don't think that's very effective coaching. Okay. So I'm just gonna he said that I think his sense is generally fine. So I'm just not gonna comment too much on why it could be so jittery. Yeah. It's 33 centimeters per 360. Yeah. I just like kind of, there's like a ballpark sweet spot. It's like 4,000 EDPI around is what you want to be for hit scan on Overwatch, which is faster than other games. But Overwatch, you just need to turn around a lot more. Timmy thinks you should try to lower it. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but yeah, it could be something to experiment with for sure. I had 33, 316 Valorant. My aim was super jittery. Yeah, it's probably way too high in Val. Mine's way lower in tactical shooters. Here, this is an awareness issue. So you should hear the Mei and the Kiriko as you walk into the room. And then, so it could be one of two things. It's number one, awareness issue, as in you don't hear them in the room. Or number two, it's a distance management issue. Okay, so you need to, if you know that they're in the room and you choose to walk forward anyway, then you need to have better spacing with the enemies. These guys are going to be way too close to you. This is losing for Cassidy. Cassidy's effective range is 20 to 30 meters. That's generally where you want to be. So it's just kind of going to depend on if you knew they were there or not. Good. I like how you played the matchup, though. Leaving immediately when you knew it was losing was good. And then here you should go main. Yeah, you should just leave. So this is perfect. Honestly, here I would go help them. Yeah. What is going on? Okay. Nice job. It was an awareness issue. Okay, yeah. Then I would just make sure that you're using sound cues. Very important in Overwatch. Because you would have been able, you would have prevented that awkward fight there and been fine. Wow, nice shots. Okay. I think your sensor is way too high. Something about this is fishy. 'Cause look at this. There's someone with the EDPI. There's no way you have a I don't know. There's just no way this is a low sense. You have to be flinging your mouse all around the desk for this to make sense. So I would definitely turn down your sense. Like, honestly, we're talking about like 2/3 of what you have, if not half of what you have. How much? Okay, Mr. Pillboy here. Whenever you move your mouse, do you have to use your arm at all? Like, can you move it across the whole desk? Like, how much are you moving your mouse? Are we talking like little fluctuations in your wrist when you're aiming? It's very important because it looks to me that like here, the way you move your mouse looks so erratic, it makes it very hard for you to aim. And when it's harder for you to aim, there's so much movement and colors on your screen, it's also harder to focus. Good angle from you, by the way. I like it a lot. Macro was good there. And this is what I was talking to people about this before. Silver players, a lot of these metal rank players have better macro than people think. They actually have good macro. You should probably go over his settings, to be honest. Well, the problem is he gave me a sense and a DPI, and that just can't be correct. I just don't think it's correct. Because of just some of these movements. Because like we saw in this room here, he'd have to move his mouse so much. To do this movement here would be crazy. My desk is not too big. My friend who was silver was playing at 60 hertz for like 2 years. Yeah, people sleep on these ranks too much. People in these ranks aren't dumb. Like, they're not stupid. They make good plays. Okay, here we should take space. Okay, so one concept of Overwatch is space control. Whenever the enemy team is dead, you want to take as much space as you can for free that is still within range of your team. Okay, so what that would mean is after Smalga died, you would walk up these stairs and then you would stand here and poke the enemy team. Because what you want to do is you want to stop the enemy team from taking this space for free. Okay, so you would kill the Malga. Bang, 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 bang. Malga died, all right? Then we're going to waltz up here and then just shoot these guys. And then once the enemy team starts walking back up, you know, we're talking big bad guys with guns. Bang, bang, bang like this. You know, they got a giant gun. Pow, pow. Bow, 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 bow. All right, whenever they start coming back and then they've got like, heroes never die, you know, in the background type of situation. Once you see these guys, you'd be like, holy schmoly, the enemy team is back. And then you just leave, right? Bang, on swing. And then you're chilling. This is space control in a nutshell. Okay, once they get here, and they start taking space aggressively, you just shoot them. Just shoot them so they use cooldowns, okay? And then once they use cooldowns, now your team is winning. You're in a winning situation. When you start losing, it's when they take all of this space for free because we didn't shoot them on the walk-up. Okay, it's a very important part of Overwatch. If we're not doing space control, if we're not stopping the enemy team from taking space for free, we're just going to lose inherently. Because they're going to have all their resources by the time they get to main for the fight. Okay, so we need to come up here and start poking these guys immediately. Bang. Whoops, I left these guys on screen, my fault. Okay, so here, yeah, like here we shouldn't be on cart at all. What this Life Weaver doing is the correct idea. The execution's a little bit weird, but the correct idea. Okay. The Weaver's... correct idea, but bad execution. So we needed to go main and poke. Cool. Good roll. Okay, I like the idea of the flash, but he's just too far away. Here you should ignore the... Okay, so here... You roll back the cart. You're on cart here. Here, you should... I mean, I guess you can shoot him. It's probably fine. It's just a little bit awkward because the fight's happening. And this guy just walks on y'all. Are you serious? Okay. I don't think this is awful, but the problem with this, by the way, Pillboy, is so you're here. Notice how you're in an awkward position. So another principle of Overwatch is that good positioning gets lucky. Okay. And as a result, bad positioning generally doesn't get lucky. Okay. It's not like a rule, but it's a way to think about it. So the problem, because you didn't walk forward and poked a walk up, now in this mid fight here, when you turn to shoot the Wu Yang, you're in this awkward position where it's like, do I help the enemy? Do I help shoot core, or do I shoot this Wu Yang that's flanking? Right? It's a hard decision to make. But if you had proper position at the start of the fight, which was basically here, if you were here the whole time, you would have naturally backed up to be somewhere like here or somewhere like here. And the decision in these positions are easier to make than the decision in this position. Okay. So just keep in mind that as you get better at Overwatch, and in particular, as you get better in positioning, it's going to be easier to find the right answer in the mid fight. Which is why whenever you listen to lower ranked players, like anything below Diamond, a lot of their issues can be solved with positional corrections rather than mechanical, because you're going to have a lot of positional errors that are going to cause much more parts of Overwatch to be more complicated than it really is, right? This is why when pro players are playing the game, they can make great decisions all the time because their positioning is good. And what did I say? Good positioning gets lucky, right? It's also easy to make good decisions from good positions. Okay. But when we're in bad position, now we have to do something really difficult, which is try to find what the correct answer is. So here we should have walked. Yeah, we needed to poke the walk up, and then we would have inherently been in a good position to make an easier correct decision down the line. I hope that made sense. But so as you go through your kind of development journey, as long as you study positioning and understanding how to position and understanding the fundamentals of Overwatch, like poking walk-ups and stuff like that, making decisions in mid-fights are going to become a lot easier. Anyway, I think shooting the winging there is probably fine. And then leaving here can be okay. And it's not terrible. But the whole reason this fight felt bad is because we didn't poke the walk up, which is what I explained like 10 minutes ago. Okay, this is an awareness issue. So you have to understand that in this fight, so if you haven't already, make sure you open your settings, go to sound settings at the top left, and here on this section here, you see sounds. There's a setting called play sound when teammate eliminated and play sound when enemy eliminated. Make sure these are both turned on. Very helpful for awareness. As you've been listening to the VOD, you've probably been hearing these beep noises as people die. Like we can hear it here. We just play the sequence again. That ring and then that bonk. These sounds are when your teammate dies and when an enemy dies. Very useful to understanding the state of the game. Okay, one thing that all good players do is they keep something that's called a count as they play the game. Okay, so what this means is that they will have a count in their head that starts at 0, and then if someone on the enemy team dies, that's going to be a +1 to the count. If someone on the ally team dies, that's going to be a -1 to the count. Okay, -1. And what they do is they try to keep an idea of how the fight is going like this. Okay, so after this enemy Kiriko died, they'd be like, count is +1. Okay, then they'll see our Arissa died, then they say count is now 0, right? Because we added 1 from the enemy and now we subtract 1 because our ally is dead. So count is 0. Okay, which means that the fight is now a 4v4. So even, that's why it's 0, right? Very, very important concept in Overwatch because this helps you understand how winnable a fight is. And this is why turning on those sound effects are very important, is because it makes keeping a count easier as you play the game. Okay, and then there's a little bit more nuance to that, which is stuff like determining who died, right? So the enemy support died and then our tank died. So because our tank died, we have a less likely chance of winning the fight than if someone else died. Okay, so that's the only other thing. But you're kind of not at that level yet. You should make a TikTok for best settings in Overwatch. There's a lot of TikToks I need to make. But yes, count is a very important concept in Overwatch. Very, very important. Because it helps you understand the state of the fight. So if you said this is something that you weren't very familiar with, this would be a good place to start because it helps you with your general awareness in Overwatch. I think it's easier to say that the count is determined by people on your team, people on their team. Okay. Evening, Mr. Taylor. Good to see you, 65. What you say even confuses me as a math student. I feel like a lot of people don't actually play on those settings. Okay. Let me re-explain this selfishly for myself. Okay, so I know how to explain it in the future. Because this is like the second time I've probably explained this ever. Okay. Concept in Overwatch. Count. So what we want to know in Overwatch is clip it. Yeah, I'm also clipping. I clipped it before, and then we'll clip this explanation as well. So bear with me, guys. Okay, I'm selfishly trying to learn how to explain this most effectively. So in Overwatch, you generally want to know the most information you possibly can, but we always want to know the state of the fight. Okay, so we want to know, is the fight a 5v5? Is the fight a 4v5? What is it? What is going on? Is it a 4v3? So on and so forth. Okay, so what most people do, especially in the scrim setting, right, the competitive Overwatch setting, is to keep the count of, 5v5 or 5v4 or whatever. They do what's called, it's called the count, right? So what they do is when you start at 0, like this, and then you're going to increment up or down depending on who dies throughout the fight. Okay. So if someone on the enemy team dies, that is good for your team. So that's going to be a +1 to the number, which is count. +1 to your count. If someone on the allied team dies, that's bad for you. So you're going to subtract 1 from the count. Okay. So basically, we can see the kill feed here. It's going to be cut off for TikTok, but we can see that the ally Orisa is dead. And then we can see that the enemy Kiriko is dead. Okay. So as this happened, we would subtract 1 for the enemy, we would add 1 for the enemy Kiriko being dead. So the count would be 1. And then we would now subtract 1 for the ally Orisa being dead. So now the count is 0, which makes sense because we know that the fight is now a 4v4, which is even, which is a count of 0. Okay, so the count is basically a count of the advantage or disadvantage your team has during a fight. Okay, so if a count is positive, like +1, or normally whenever you calm this, you'll say up 2, sorry. If the count is +2, you would say up 2 generally, and you have a 2-person advantage during the fight. Okay, if the count is -2, you would say you're down 2, and you're at a 2-person disadvantage throughout the fight, right? 2 people on your team are dead versus, so it'd be like a 3v5 or a 2v4 type of situation, right? It doesn't tell you the exact state, but it gives you the idea of the advantage or disadvantage, which is more important than how many people are in the fight. Does that make sense? Does that make more sense? I hope that makes more sense. I meant your team minus their team. Yeah, but I think that's harder to keep track of in the fight. Is it a 5v4? Like, thinking to yourself, are we fighting a 5v4 versus are we fighting a 3v1 is like a harder question to ask. What about value of role? Tank worth 2? Yeah, you can get a little bit more complicated with it if you want, but that's more of a player by player decision. In Overwatch 1, it was a lot more valuable because the roles were a lot more even in power. But in Overwatch 2, tanks are a lot stronger. So that kind of starts coming down to awareness, which is a whole different can of worms. We can talk about that at a different time. But being aware of if your tank is dead versus the enemy tank is dead is also an important thing. We call count 0 with down a tank and then down something other than a tank worse even. And otherwise better even. Yeah, I mean, some teams will do it differently. But that's just a general idea. You're counting the advantage or disadvantage you have in a fight. Okay, so what I was going to mention here is you should understand that your tank is dead. You need to wait till your tank gets back before you do anything. Okay, so your team is on the point. Your teammates are making a mistake. This is a mistake. Okay, but so what you should be doing is following up with them, aka matching your team's intentions to your character's best ability. So what you should be doing here is you should be like, oh my god, we're down our tank. What are these guys doing? And then you should stand here and shoot them. Your idea should not be to walk forward though. Your idea should just be to stand here and shoot them as they try to kill your teammates. And because you want to live, ultimately, that's the goal. So this is I don't even know what I would call this. Maybe an awareness issue. Because we need to understand our tank is dead and the fight is pretty much lost. So I would say this is an awareness issue. Okay. Good rotation out. Okay, enemy tank dead. We traded out the Life Weaver. What is the count? What's the count, guys? It's 0. The count is currently 0. Okay. Oh, we have a guy coming back from spawn. Never mind. The count technically here would be down 1. But the enemy tank died, so it's generally okay for us to press the advantage because our tank is alive. Which is what I was talking about. It can get a little bit messy, but the idea is there. You should have the idea there. Whoops. Okay. Bad flash. You keep flashing when they're out of your range, so that's just something to keep in mind. You should be getting value from your flash. Just like anybody, really. Okay, I don't really know where you're going. I think this is okay, that looks like a map knowledge issue. Okay, so that was just a map knowledge issue. That doesn't go through. God, rotation. No, you're... Okay, I'm not... Okay. That's just a map knowledge issue, okay? It doesn't connect to the top part. Which, you know, it happens. It happens. It happened to me when I first played the game. 90% of CAS players don't know. You're good, bro. You know, you're good. Don't worry about it. That just doesn't go through. Good dead. Okay, this is an insane deadeye. This is an insane deadeye. So here, okay, how you should think about deadeye is that I actually like this a lot from you. I love your rotation. Okay, one thing you very obviously understand about Overwatch is angles. You understand angles and getting out of main, which I love from you. You thought that was an off angle? Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured it's just a map knowledge issue. You just don't know that doesn't go through. But this is a really good example of when you would use Deadeye. Okay, so the reason Deadeye is good here is you have good range from the enemy team. You're on an angle, as you're not on the same angle as the Orisa, for example. They don't have a way to cancel your ultimate. The only thing they have is May Wall, but that's a really easy thing to get around. And this is a really good Deadeye. Like, you should be using Deadeye right now. It'd be really, really good. But because you don't use Deadeye, it's harder to make a play here. He goes on an angle. He takes the longest sightline. Only thing, there's no cover, but yeah. I don't know what you mean. This angle's good. I think this angle's fine. Because also, if he takes his angle and he thought a little bit more proactively, he could have gone all the way for this, which is also good. There's not... The only other option was this rotation, but there wasn't really a time for this. So I think this is fine. I think the way he played it is fine. Yeah, I'm saying... Oh, you're saying it's great. Okay. I'm with you. Yeah, he just needs to Deadeye. That's all this is. He just needed to use Deadeye at literally any point of that fight, and you would have just insta-won. Really good flank. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, there are silver players who make really good plays. This is really good. I'm, like, actually impressed. This is really good from you, Pillboy. I'm surprised you're silver, because this is really good. I see gold play. I see diamond players that just AFK in main. Like, this is really good macro. This Deadeye is really good, too. This Deadeye is good. This Deadeye is really good. Holy moly. You need to draw. Yeah, wow. This was really good. Well done. You can only improve it for Deadeye if he looks for cover.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the micro of Deadeye because I just don't think it mattered there. Well, it would have mattered, but he didn't even use Deadeye to begin with. But yeah. Yeah. He is very... Have you watched a bunch of my videos by chance? Because if you have, this, it kind of makes sense. Because this is really, like, this is really well done. I'm just gonna be honest, mechanics. Yeah, I do think this is gonna be a little bit of a mechanics issue. There was like the very first fight, he just needed to shoot people. To be fair, micro doesn't matter even until diamond. I disagree. There's like some fundamental level of mechanics you need to have, which is something I've been thinking about. I'm working on very long term. I want to make like a fundamental guide to Overwatch. And one thing I'm going to talk about is the minimum point of competency for aim. I forgot what I had like an abbreviation for it. Level of competency, and I want to have mechanical level of competency and a mechanical level of excellency. And you just need to hit the level of competency to be able to climb. Because, for example, like a very tangible example is when Pillboy was here. Okay, when Pillboy was here, on this play, he has to get a kill here. There's he actually made the best play. He just has to kill people here. He has to. And this is why I'm saying like the level of competency matters. Because this just needs to, he just needs to kill. Like this play is really good. Someone just needs to die. Someone just needs to die here. No, but I played a bit of Marvel Rivals, but it was boring because my main is Bucky, and the main play you make on him is to play main and shoot the enemy tank. Yep. Well, welcome to Overwatch, where there's actually so much more playmaking. There's actually so much more you do in this game. I mean, I guess the micro of standing still on an angle is really important to know. There's also an aim component. But Pillboy's macro is really good. Generally really good. Love the angles being taken here. Love the map usage. The first thing you practiced was that. Yeah. Yeah, like here. Okay, so this is what Montana was talking about. Montana is Fortnite Pro 420XX, by the way. This dude has like 2 billion names. Anyway, what he was talking about is that when you're on angles like this and no one is looking at you, you need to stop moving. Right? Because you can kind of see it here. You're moving as you take this shot on the Mei, and it actually partially constitutes to you missing this shot. So because no one's looking at you, you might as well stop moving to make your shots easier to hit, right? Right, so after this Sojourn starts shooting you, okay, sure, then you can move or whatever. But before that point, you should have just stopped moving to make your shots easier to hit. And you'll be surprised the amount of times throughout a game that this will actually be useful. It's something that'll be useful to you as long as you're playing like this, which is really good, by the way. It'll come up probably 10 times a game. Very useful. Good angle. I love that you go back to the angle, by the way. This is fantastic. And I also love that you re-engage. My Amazon is going off. I apologize. But I like that you re-engage. I don't know if you do it on purpose, but you actually have really good timing with your team, right? So your timing with your team is walking in now. You're going on the angle now with good timing, so they don't even suspect you because they're already looking at the Orisa, and then you get this kill on the Mei. Perfect. Great job. And then now your Orisa's in, you match intentions and go in. Perfect. And then we go even deeper on an angle. This is lovely. This is lovely. Only thing here is we don't have flash, which sucks, but whatever. Okay, yeah, but here. This is another example of this, what Montana was talking about. Okay, here. Bang. You could just stay in main here, honestly. Just staying main here is fine. He plays this point better than I ever have, no joke. That's what I'm saying. Like his macro is really good. Like silver players can have really good macro. Which is why I don't believe when people say micro doesn't matter, because it very clearly matters. Pillboy should be getting way more value here. He just doesn't get enough value. Like here, you should kill this Kiriko 100% of the time. 100% of the time, this Kiriko should die. If I put Montana here right now, this Kiriko dies. If you put me here, the Kiriko dies. If you put Timmy here, he dies. If you put any of our Masters player here, this Kiri dies every time. Yeah, if Timmy's here, this Kiriko dies. Because what they would do is once they get to the angle, they would stop moving. Sorry, they would stop moving, hit the silver bullet, and then just like walk up and punch her, or like, yeah, they would just do something and she would die. Like they would just, but the problem, a big part of this Pillboy is you keep moving when they're not looking at you, and it causes you to miss shots unnecessarily. You would low-key miss. It looks like your aim is just not disciplined at all. Yeah. Let's look at that again. It's not really the moving itself. So you think it's spamming? Let's look. Well, the movement is also an issue. He needs to fix that. It could be a spamming issue. He jerks the shot out as quickly as possible. Let's see. Yeah, that's why I think, yeah, he does spam. There's a bit of spam going on here, but I also think it could be well, the problem with spamming is it could be a few things. It could be habit. It could be tension on the mouse. It could be pressure and anxiety. It could be a bunch of things. Could be a bunch of things. I do think the sense is too high, so I definitely think you should try to lower your sense, because it's so jittery. That's why I say it. Because normally, even if you're jittery, like even if I'm jittery, it doesn't show to this level because my sense is too low for it to show this much. Like, we shouldn't really be able to recognize that your aim is jittery, because normally when there's some level of jittery aim, I'll be like, okay, whatever, but this is very apparent. Just stand still and try to put your crosshair close to them, then do the flick. I mean, I don't know about the flick part, but the idea of what Montana's saying is correct. Here, you should just die because you're overextended. Yes, I'll lower. Okay, cool. Let us know how it goes. That was an overperformance on the Curie, by the way. But you needed to die there because your team is dead already. Okay. So as you walk back from spawn, make sure you're looking through the wall to see where your team is. And understand, where's my team? Where's the enemy team? You'll have to use some thought to figure that out, because you can't actually see the enemy team through the wall. You have to just be like, where's my team shooting, and figure it out from there. And then you need to think about, where are we going to fight? Okay. Those three things are very important, because then you can use that information to determine where you're going to stand and what rotation you're going to make. Okay. This is called staging. This is a big part of the staging part. What I'm going to say might be way out of scope, but realistically, right there, you should see Kiriko is moving back in line, so you can just cut off from movement with your crosshair. Yeah, I mean, I would talk about that. If he was in Masters, I would talk about that. If he was in GM, I would talk about that. But he's just not there. We would go like way more in depth about the micro. Because I would have played it, how I would have played it is like, let's say the Moira is the person. I would set my crosshair here with the idea that she's going to rotate into it, and then I would just shoot her as she rotates. But that's a whole different discussion. We're not going to go down that route. Okay, but here, this is a map knowledge issue. We shouldn't be on the side of the map, because from here, there's no rotation. So here, you would just walk through Mega Room and then do the same rotation you did that very first fight. This is the best rotation for Cassidy. So it's going to depend on where the enemy team is, which is what I was just talking about. If the enemy team is holding here and spamming down choke like this, your best rotation is to go along coast side, okay? But if the enemy team has less space, so the enemy team is like here, for example, and is spamming out your Orisa like it is now, honestly, your best play at this point is to walk down main and help your Orisa with this fight here. I would not flank here. I would not make this rotation. Because number one, this rotation is also really long, okay? So I would just make this rotation to help my tank in main, force these guys out, and then what's going to end up happening is that if you guys win this engagement and the enemy team gives space, now you have the opportunity to walk up this staircase and play this statue, which is kind of like your endgame angle here. It's either this statue location here, or it's like on this side of the map, but this is hard to get to. So yeah, you would just play here, then shoot everybody on the plaza, and then it's just winning. So that would be the idea. So I would go main in this situation, and I would have been able to derive this based on, as I was walking back from spawn, I would see, okay, my Orisa's actually pushed up really far. I can just walk down main here and be okay. Okay, so that's how you would have come to that conclusion as well. Okay. Yeah, so here, look, you'll actually tangibly see why this is bad. So your Orisa is already fighting on point. We just started the rotation. Actually, we started the rotation a little bit earlier. We started the rotation now. Okay, so at 129, we're very obviously committed to making the rotation. Let's see how long this takes us. Okay, we just now arrived. It is 117. That whole rotation took us 12 seconds. And notice our team, without our help, pushed the entire enemy team backwards, right? Notice how the enemy team is back here now. Our life weaver already died, and we also used Freya ult in that fight. And we had no impact over that fight, right? Wait, why is it still showing the... Oh, I just did too many Control-Z's, sorry. But yes, we had no impact in that fight, and that's because of an awareness issue, right? Because you weren't looking through the wall to see where your team was as you rotated out of spawn, you made the incorrect rotation in the mid fight. Okay, you would have been able to infer that walking down main was better because of where your team was positioned as you were walking back. Okay, so this is an awareness issue. Make sure it's awareness and staging issue. It's two issues at the same time. As you're walking back from spawn, make sure you see where your teammates are, and then think about where's my team, where's the enemy team, where's the fight gonna happen. Okay, we'll take some skill to get good at it, so we'll take practice, but it's very important in Overwatch. Every Masters level player you watch does that. To some degree. Good flank though. Given that you were on the angle, this is a good flank. But you should have been in, man. This guy just gets to do whatever he wants. This is actually crazy that you live. So here you need to die fast because your team is dead. So now because you died late, your team has to wait an extra 10 seconds for you to come back. Every Masters player who deserves their rank. Yeah, the people who have skill floors in Masters will look through the wall and be able to determine where to go properly. To some degree. Most of the time, at least. Like 80% of the time. I'd say for a change, lower your sense such that one whole swipe across your mouse pad does a 360. I think mine's slightly lower than that. But, I mean, that might be helpful for him. Well, okay, but yeah, Pillboy, because you died so late in the fight, your team now has to wait an extra 10 seconds for you to come back, basically. Right? So, like, this Malga thing happens and you're not there because you died late. Whenever you see people, like everyone on your team die and you know the fight's lost, you just need to die. So you get back with your team faster. Yeah, we're taking forever to go through this. Okay. Here, this is bad pathing. So once again, okay, look. Here, look through the wall, see what's going on. Can I turn off ally or enemy lines? How do I turn off enemies? Team 2 heroes. First person, it might be in social gameplay HUD. I don't know. Anyway, I was gonna just demonstrate this easier. You're a red team, okay? So here you should see what's my team doing? What's my team doing? Okay, they're fighting in main. I want to open up an angle on this fight, so let me go this way. And then you would either see Malga and shoot the Malga, or you'd be like, okay, my whole team is shooting Malga. I'm gonna go shoot their backline, and you'd go like this. Bang. And look at this. This is like a 60% chance to kill. Montana, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you as always. But yeah, you could have killed the Curie there. This is a good Deadeye opportunity, by the way. Deadeye would be... Okay, so we can't make this rotation every time. So it might be baked in your head that this is a good rotation to make. The problem with this rotation is it takes forever. Okay, this is not like a rotation you can do every fight. You have to read the situation, okay? Right now, you should have known the Malga was in your backline, so your team is stuck back there. Now the Malga just died, or did he get out? No, he's still back there. The Malga is still back there. And then you just killed the Kiri, so you're up 1 on count. I would stay in main, right? The Malga's already back here. Either get the Malga out or help your Orisa walk forward on the backline. Either one. The problem is this rotation is just going to take too long, right? We're going to see it again. By the time you complete the rotation, the fight is going to be decided with or without you. Or sorry, without you, right? The Malga died and the Kiri died both without you. You had no impact over that happening. Your team carried you. So you make this rotation, you're out of the fight for too long, right? And this is also part of the... This is why, by the way, Pillboy, that people... This is why our community says Shambali is a bad map for Cassidy. Because other than... This is the only play you have on third, is to make this rotation or go main. That's it. And going main can feel bad, and making the rotation can both also feel bad. So, but you as a good Cassidy player should be able to evaluate which option is better at any moment. Okay. Don't just spam one rotation because it's a good rotation. Because what will end up happening is if you spam this rotation over and over and over again, you will get value, right? You will carry fights because of this rotation, but you won't know why you're carrying fights. It'll just happen. Right, so you'll get to higher elo where you'll get shut down here, or you'll get outvalued here, and then you'll be like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I'm taking angles. If you don't have lip aim, don't go down main most of the time. Yeah, well, that's not really how you should think about it. How you should think about it is Overwatch is 1 on the angle. That's how you should think about it. So avoid being in main. I think a lot, you can go down a really big rabbit hole about like main botting and stuff like that. And if you watch pro play, it's a lot of main botting, but we're not going to open up that can of worms. Anyway, that rotation was bad from you. This should be a dead eye. Okay, you should have dead eye there. Why? Because you're on a deep flank. They don't know where you are. Your distance isn't too great there, but you're on a deep flank and you can kill too. So just dead eye here. And then this is a distance management issue. So once again, these guys aren't looking at you. You should stop moving. But also, you need to don't walk toward people, right? This Kiriko, you shouldn't be walking toward her, especially when you don't have flashbang, right? It's not on the screen, but you don't have flashbang here. So what you should be doing is maintaining your effective range, okay? So this is a concept called distance management. You should be back here, or spacing, either one. You should be back here continuing to shoot the Kiriko because it's going to be safer for you. And notice how you would have avoided being point blank against a Mauga if you stayed at this distance, okay? Because what's the principle I talk about when it comes to good positioning? Good positioning gets lucky. And we would have gotten lucky and we would have avoided the Mauga. Could he still killed us here? Yes, but it's safer than being point blank, right? So that's the only thing. So generally, good rotations are good. You understand angling. You understand flanking is a good way to win in Overwatch, but our execution can be better. And you also need to have more information before you make those rotations, okay? So as you're looking to make this, like this last rotation on Shambali, make sure you're looking through the wall to see where your team is. Very, 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 very important part of Overwatch. Dude, my mouth is so dry. Okay. Defense. I don't mind this, but you're not executing any of the principles that would make this good. Okay, or at least I don't think you are. I suspect you aren't. I love being aggressive. If you watch me play, I mean, I've been really tilted recently, so I've been performing terribly. But when I was performing, like there's a couple streams ago where I did like I got the GM1. I'm a very aggressive Cassidy player. Very, very aggressive. I love to run down angles and whatever. So I love stuff like this. But you have to, as you make rotations like this, you should be thinking, what is going to kill me on this angle? Is there anyone else on the angle? Am I safe to go backline? And like what kind of mobility they have? You should be thinking about how are you going to die generally. Okay, what's going to contest you? Here, you hear Zen, you hear Bastion, you hear basically the whole enemy team, but you should most importantly know that they're playing Hazard, okay? And if you're going to be a Cassidy main, you have to understand that Hazard will counters you. Why does Hazard counter you? His slash damage does a bunch of burst damage against you, and he can wall you off from your team, okay? And Cassidy just doesn't have any mobility. He just has roll, and roll sucks, okay? So you should understand that they're playing Hazard, so that this angle is going to be greedy, and you should not take this angle. Because what a good Hazard will do is he'll hear this first shot from you. He will instantly look, what the hell is this guy doing? Slash, wall you and you're dead. Okay. So this is a matchup issue and an awareness issue. It's both. It's actually a lot of issues at the same time. It's a matchup issue against the Hazard. It's a spacing issue against the Hazard. It's an awareness issue of knowing that they're playing Hazard. It's a bunch of things. You'll have to, I'm not you, so I don't know exactly what you were thinking in this moment, but you'll have to pinpoint what it is. Do you not know that Hazard counters you? Do you not know that you're too close to Hazard? Or do you not know that Hazard's a counter to you in general? Like you'll have to figure out which one's most applicable to you. All dive tanks stop Cass? Yes. Most dive tanks counter Cassidy, not because they'll kill you all the time, but because they stop you from making good plays. Okay, and how you win in Overwatch and Marvel Rivals and all these other games is you make plays, right? You flank and you kill two type situation. Right? But those dive tanks will stop you from making these plays and force you to do more passive things like stand in main and shoot people. Which is why whenever you watch pro play, it's a lot less stuff like Cassidy and more stuff like Sojourn, because you're forced to play angles like main more often, and it's safer to do so on heroes like Sojourn because they also have longer range and stuff like that. But anyway, this is bad play due to the hazard matchup. And you're also going into the whole enemy team here. So this is like a awareness issue. This is too early. The timing is also bad, right? Because the enemy team just got the cart. They're all going to be here. They have nothing else to do other than turn and look at you. Okay, so you needed to, there's like a few issues here. Either you needed to wait till the enemy team walked up and then peek, or you needed to not play the angle at all. Because honestly, I don't really think this is that good. I'd prefer you be here, but that's a whole different thing. That's like a map knowledge thing. Okay, but that was a lot of issues at the same time, and that's why you died. It was like critical failure right there, unfortunately. Okay. Shoot these guys in main. Lovely. Waiting for your team as well. This is lovely. Okay. Here you had one option. I will open up your mind to. As you're waiting for your team, you can be thinking about a concept called staging, which is as you're waiting for your team or as you're waiting for the enemy team to come back, you can take a better position. So what you could do here is you could make this rotation. This would be a really good rotation to make, but you don't have to. I think playing a main is also fine. It's just how you like to play. I generally teach my students to flank because I think flanking is winning. Like 90% of the time you flank, and then it's just about execution on the flank. So here I would actually recommend you to flank this way, because what'll end up happening is you set up a win condition for the fight. So what'll end up happening is that the enemy team is going to walk down main and try to push cart, and then they're going to shoot everybody in this window, shoot the people here, whatever. And what you will do is, because the enemy team is marking all these people on these angles, you will be the win condition and be like a knife in their back and just kill everybody here. Because what'll end up happening is they'll see, oh no, there's a Cass on our side. They'll turn to mark the Cassidy, which is you. And once they mark you, guess what they're not doing anymore? Shooting these guys, right? So this is flanking, aka being a win condition, which you understand to some extent, right? Because you did that here, right? You spammed this rotation, which is a similar idea. So I would prefer you to stage more on the left side here rather than standing in main. You can also make that decision based on the idea of doubling up, right? So one concept you generally want to avoid, this is a very dense VOD review, but whatever. One concept you generally want to apply in your gameplay is to avoid doubling up with your ally DPS, right? So you see your Mei here, you should be looking to take an angle that is different from her. So as you came to this window when you shot down main, you should say to yourself, oh my gosh, my Mei is also here. Let me pick a different angle. So you can either go left side like I mentioned, or you can come down further into cave. Sometimes you will be forced to double up. It'll just depend on the situation, right? There are some maps where there's literally no other options, okay? Or no other options that are good for Cassidy. So it'll just depend. But on this map, there are other options, right? What you would do is you would rotate here and you could play this window as Cassidy, which can be okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. This is generally preferred, of course, but there's also this flank that's actually deceptively good for Cass as well. So just make sure you're aware of that. Okay, so your team touches, perfect. Let me look at this mechanically. Also, we just hit no shots here. So then this is what I was talking about. Like mechanically, we just need to get better with that. Just practice. We should be hitting some shots here. Doesn't need to, you don't need to kill people. I mean, ideally you would, but we need to hit shots. Good rotation. So you see that your tank has space and we rotate. I won't be real. You would miss those shots too. You wouldn't hit you would hit some body shots at least. I'm gonna be real. Oh, you corrected it. You would hit some body shots. You would at least hit a body shot or two. Like just something. Very important. This is really good. Honestly, I'm gonna be so for real. If you jumped out this window and did this, I wouldn't have even been mad. I would not have been mad. It's very aggressive, but I mean, you're gonna kill this Sojourn. You'll probably kill the Zen. It would be really good. Like, I love that from you. The problem with this is that it's distance like a distance management issue. You're really close. At least here, you're a win condition on an angle, like a hard flank angle. So this angle is actually just this one, but better almost. I'll be honest. Just something to think about. I don't think this play is like inherently bad, but just something to think about. Good. Your angling is really good and definitely like your biggest strength as a player. You understand space, angle control, or not maybe control, but angling in general. Going to an angle, getting out of main. Okay, so here we just eat a bunch of spam and die. So here, I'm down for you to peek these people, but do so from a safe location, right? So do it from, like, why are we ever walking forward here? Like, look at this from the Sojourn's POV, okay? This will make it a little bit easier to understand. Your whole body is showing, basically, right? As you peek these people, you just want your head to be showing, right? Let's look at it from this guy's POV. Bang. Okay, Wu Yang's a little bit different, but I'll look from the Zen POV. Let's see. Okay, Zen walks up. Bang, 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 bang. Classic Silver Zen gameplay. Yeah, okay. So you almost walk out of the door and then get shot by the enemy team. Right? Like, you should be back here shooting them and, like, jumping. Like, here you would, like, jump and shoot them. Or you'd stand on this table and shoot them. It's just safer. Okay, so this is, like, a risk mitigation issue. Like, a risk issue. You're just showing too much of your body here. I don't mind you poking them. Like, it's fine. It's just you're showing too much of your body as you peek them. And I do apologize. This review has been very dense, okay? And I'm not expecting you to solve all of these issues at the same time. You'll have to go through and probably find the ones that make the most sense for you and then go from there. By the way, if you find time, I doubt it, my Route 66 game would be a really good VOD to review. I played the Doom matchup really well, but I won't be there to see it if you do. We probably won't have time today, but we will keep it in mind because if it doesn't get wiped, we might do it on Friday. Here, you need to not drop. Okay, this is another awareness thing. You need to see as you're walking back from spawn, once again, see where your team is. You got 3 guys on the floor. All right, where do you not want to be then? On the floor, if you can avoid it, which you can. So you should just stand here and shoot them. Just stand here and shoot them. But because you drop, now it's way easier for you to die. You're a liability to your team. And there's no playmaking on the floor. So you need to not drop there. That fight was lost either way, though, so whatever. Not a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal because it shows me that you don't understand the principle, but it's not a big deal in that fight. Anyways. Holy cow, this take forever. I would take this 1v1 every day of the week. You need to, as a cast player, which I love that you're doing this, you should have confidence in taking this 1v1. This is winning for you. Okay, well, we kind of mess it up, but let's look at it. Okay, so here your instinct should be to roll here to get cover and then make this rotation to flank her. But instead of going wider like this. But let's say you had full HP, you should take this duel. You should be helping your Weaver there, by the way. As your Weaver turns the corner, just play it safe. Like, just stand here and shoot her. Just be very safe about it. But you should help her. Or help him win the duel. Because even if you die, he almost definitely trades you out if you die there. So it ends up being, if we did count, you would die, so it'd be -1. And then the Sojourner would die, so it'd be +1, so it'd be 0. Okay. Shoot bro in the head. Okay, this is a distance. Okay, this is a distance management issue. Here, okay, this is also an awareness issue. Your Orisa dies. You need to realize your Orisa dies. And then you need to understand, crap, this fight's very losing for us. So you need to back up. First idea should be to back up. This reswing is really bad, and you will die and throw the game for doing this. Like this action of backing up, like here, good. I was like, wow, this is really good from you. You back up, and it looks like you're about to leave to give space to the enemy team, but you actually go back in. This is throw. The act of you going back in here is very, very throw and will cost you games because you will die here. And lo and behold, you die here. And that's because you didn't back up with proper timing. So you needed to recognize that your Orisa died, and then you needed to rotate out. Okay. So that's bad from you. Bad awareness, and that's an awareness issue. Okay. Okay, we're in main. Okay, so this defense is gonna feel really bad because Cass sucks here. Your best play as Cass is to do kind of what you're doing. Just make sure you don't take a bunch of damage. But your best angle is actually here. This is your best, like here, use this cover. This is your best angle. Yeah. Okay, we grabbed the mini. Okay, that's fine. Nice roll. Okay, also, some things I want to point out. There is one bad habit that you don't have, which I'm really glad, which is you don't roll forward, which is really good. Make sure you don't build that habit. Okay, one of the most common mistakes Cassidy players make is they just roll forward randomly and die. Okay, so don't build that habit because it's also a harder habit to break. So that's good that you don't have that. And it'll make getting better. You know, lucky him. Most players have, like 80% of the people I've coached have that issue. It's by far the most common mistake people make on this hero. So good job. But one thing I wanted to point out is that you don't use your Deadeye like at all. And I don't know really why. There's been a bunch of good Deadeye opportunities you've seen with like a bunch of people on your screen. But there's like been a few opportunities where there's just people in front of you and you just don't Deadeye. So I'd rather you honestly use Deadeye and die rather than not use Deadeye at all. Because then it shows me at least you know how to use Deadeye. Or you can use it. Oh no, the despair. What? How did you get hit by the wall? You actually got robbed. What? What is this? Okay, look at this. Look at this. Bang. He gets punched there, whatever. That makes sense. Jump. Oh my gosh. You cannot be serious. You actually got robbed. You actually got robbed. Dude, I saw the vision here too. Bang. Oh my god. Come on, bro. You cannot be for real. Okay. That's unfortunate. But I understand the idea. I'm gonna write that one off, okay? I'm gonna write that one off. That's a tax exemption right there. I saw the vision. I did see the vision right there because you could have killed the hazard. You just got unlucky with the hitbox. Yeah, you can kind of see why Cass feels bad. This has happened to me on Legion. I've died to that many times. Here we should be using Deadeye. Like basically at any point during this fight you need to use Deadeye. We just don't use it. That guy's AFK. Cool. Deadeye? Nice. No way. Oh my god, what? No one reacts to you? What? You cannot be for real. He just stands there and two people die. That's actually insane. That's actually insane. No, you know these 2 kills, you can just do this more often because you're in silver. Run it down, man. That's actually crazy. That's actually insane. You just killed 2. It's a good Deadeye, but you should not kill 2 there. You should kill maybe 1 at most. And then everyone else should just go to cover. The higher rank you go, the more Deadeye just becomes a zoning ultimate. Okay. Here we're on the angle again. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, by the way, you're basically doing nothing on third here. Your whole team is doing everything. Because how you think about it, how you should be thinking about this, by the way, is that to determine if you got carried by your team or not, just think to yourself, did I make any plays this game? Okay, on attack, you did. You actually did make some plays, right? We saw some flanks from you that were really good. Like taking the first angle on main and working the entire left side, right? Like I'm talking like doing this and taking this high ground. Like this was really good from you. And coming up here, this was all really good space control and stuff like that from you. But you should be thinking about, did I make any plays in main here? No. Did I have any good dead eyes? No, not really. Did I just not die? Yeah. But that means the whole outcome of the game was in your team's hands, not yours. So that, yes, you got carried here on defense and partly on attack, but you did have some good ideas on attack. But, and that's why on Cassidy, you generally want to play King of the Hill maps. You want to play push maps. You want to play flashpoint maps because there's a lot more playmaking available to you on those maps. But on stuff like Shambali, there's just not enough. There's not enough playmaking. Also, just as a disclaimer, on this map, you almost never hold heroes, Cassidy. It's almost always here. Almost always here. Almost always back here. The reason being is on Cassidy, he's so immobile. You can't rotate out of these angles like a Reaper or a Tracer or even a Sojourn could, right? You just don't have the ability. You just don't have the mobility for that. So that's why you stay way back here. Okay. Good shots. Bang, bang, bang. Putting out pressure. Okay, whatever. Die to Bastional. Just don't die to Bastional. There's not really a lot I can say about that. Good angle. Good angle. Shoot their backline. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, you got obliterated here, but if you just had better mechanics, you carry the whole fight, so it's good. He can roll and live it, that's all. He did roll, but he just rolled into more of the shots and died. So yeah, that's why I didn't really elaborate on it. It's just like, whatever. That is what it is. Just don't roll into more of the shots. But here, yeah, if he was just mechanically, if you put Timmy here, Timmy kills at least one, maybe two here. Yeah, Timmy is probably good for at least one there. And then he would have just carried the fight. But yeah, that was a good play. You just failed. So, which happens. It happens to everyone. And then you just go for backline again. This is a good play as well. I would kill one in noon and die, probably. Like, that Zen should die there. Like, this is a good play. Okay, well, it's a good macro play. Whoops, sorry. It's a good macro play, but there is a little bit of an issue here. So, as you get to the angle, bang. I wouldn't have rolled to the angle first of all, but, you know, that's a whole different discussion. As you get here, number one, they're not looking at you. Stop moving. Number two, don't walk toward them. Why are you walking toward them? It just makes it easier for you to die. Okay, this is a distance management issue. Don't walk toward them. Just stay here, walk 80-80. Because look at this from the Zen's POV. That's our Zen. Look at this from this guy's POV. Okay. Look. You're just making it easier. More of your hitbox is on the screen as you walk forward. You're making it easier, and then he hits you with the fadeaway. Okay. You're just dying on cooldown? Not really. I mean, this last fight, yeah. But you could have killed two both times. You just, like, didn't kill them, which happens. You just need to get better mechanically. But the play is fine. Like, I need you to understand, don't feel like just because you're dying that your play is bad. That's why you need a coach. That's why you need to do VOD reviews. You have to evaluate in your mind, is the play good or do I just suck? Or sorry, is the play bad or do I suck? And you have to evaluate. Here, I'm gonna be honest, you just suck. Okay, the play is fine. I love this play from you. I love that you go for backline and shoot the Zen and the Sojourn. I think this is excellent, but low key, we just suck and die. That's it. You just like, that's it. Just don't suck and you kill at least the Zen there. And then if you had better distance management, you probably roll. And then if you didn't roll to the angle and had better distance management, you roll the hazard slash if he slashes you and you live. So this is a good play. It's just you suck. You know, but we all suck. I suck. Watch my last stream where I lost 3 games in a row because I suck. It happens. But that's the last fight. All in all, generally, this map, I'm gonna be honest, look losing to me. I'm gonna be honest, this gameplay look losing, which is why you're silver, which is fine. But you have a really good you have probably the best foundation I've seen of any student ever. Okay. So, and that's good in a couple ways. You understand angling. Okay. You understand that taking an angle away from your tank is good, which is great. You understand flanking, why it's important and why it matters. You have a few critical errors, which is mechanically, you're walking toward people for no reason. You're moving when people aren't looking at you. And then you have a little bit too high of a sensitivity because you have very shaky aim. Okay, so I think if you correct those, you're instantly going to go up a whole rank. You're going to go straight to gold. And then I think, look at my win rate on Cass. It's negative. Yeah, that makes sense. I think your gameplay is losing. So yes, I think that makes sense. Because you have to ask yourself, how did you carry this game, Pillboy? How did you carry this game, Pocket? How did you carry? You didn't really. Right? Like your best, the things you were good at were things like you just understand angling very well, which puts you in a good position to carry, but you're just not able to do so once you're there. Like a month, you said I could hit GM. Wow. Timmy, you're M1. I basically got it correct. Timmy, you already had a good foundation. You played Rainbow at like a really high level or whatever. Yeah, of course you're gonna make GM. That was obvious. But Pillboy is silver. This guy's got it. You were D3? Yeah, I knew you were obvious. I think Pillboy in a month's time, if he cleaned up his mechanics, I think he could hit master I think he could peak M5 in a month if he played every day and did practice. And I'm not even trolling. I'm not trolling. I think he could peak M5, but probably be like mid-diamond. No troll. Because a lot of Pillboy's issue is just like knowledge. Whenever you're this low, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but whenever you're below gold, most of your issues are knowledge related. You just don't understand concepts of Overwatch. Or at least how to apply them, right? You don't understand counts. You don't understand ult economies. You don't understand angling. You don't understand pressure. You don't understand timing, right? You don't understand space control. Like the VOD we just did before this with Montana is a lot more complicated than this one because it's about the intricacies of Overwatch. When should you apply space control principles? When should you apply angle control? When should you roll forward? When should you not? And those are harder questions to answer than what is angling? What is space management, right? He doesn't even know what space management is. Why are we walking forward here? This doesn't make any sense, right? Like these are simple things to fix and they will boost you up to like masters because real Overwatch starts in like masters. Like the cool parts of Overwatch start in like masters, diamond, like high diamond, low masters, which is like good rotations against enemy dives, playing against the dives correctly, coordination, cool stuff with ultimate, stuff like that starts happening around that point. Most of his gameplay is just mechanics and positioning. I mean, that's a very like broad way to. It's not like a very helpful way to narrow it down, which is why I was trying to give like more tangible things. Like he needs to work on number one, getting his sense down to something lower because it's too high. I can see him flicker all the time. Okay, so just something lower. How you would do this, by the way, how you would find the information for what you should get a good DPI and sense. Honestly, you should probably just copy a pro's sense. So look up Lip Overwatch Liquipedia and copy his sense. His sensitivity is 800 DPI, 5.4 cents. Just copy it and just use that. Or PGE. Yeah, I don't even care. Anyone who's pro level or has been pro level, just copy their sense. I really don't care. And then go from there. Yeah, copy my sense, which is Lips. Yeah, Timmy's and Art. Yeah, we're all good resources, surely. But okay, if I had to prescribe one thing to you, Pocket or Pillboy or I'm not sure what your name is on Twitch. I would prescribe number one, stop moving when people aren't looking at you. And number two, space management. Don't walk forward if you don't have to. Okay, it's gonna get you killed so much. Do this code, it's dive. Okay, we can do that. And then that'll be the last code for today. Because each of those reviews I've done took an hour each. It took forever. Then we can go from there. You'll copy Montana's. Oh, his sense? Okay, sounds good. And then you should be good. Make sure you measured your DPI correctly, by the way. If you're are you using like a Razer mouse or something, make sure you check in the program correctly. Because 600 DPI sounds weird. Most of the time it's like 800 or 1600 is your default DPI. Okay. Timmy's code is 870D, sorry, YDT. Okay. How long is this? 9 minutes. Wait, what? Is this only 2 maps? It is only 2 maps. And you win both of them. Timmy, is there going to be a lot to learn here? I feel like this is... Or do you just want to demonstrate dive? Like, what's the idea? Oh, wait. Yeah, it's... Okay. We'll just look at the dive matchup then. Sure. Okay. Passing to the dive matchup. It's a lot of rotations. But it is going to depend on what your backline is. Okay? This is also Masters. Let me change that real quick. Masters. So it was silver, now it's Masters. There we go. I need to work on the matchup for me. Okay. Into dive. Okay, they're playing a weird dive comp. But generally into dive, you need to understand that there's 2 variations of this. If the enemy team is playing a full dive comp, let's just say the enemy team is playing a full dive comp. So they're playing Tracer, Monkey. Let's just say it's also Genji. Okay, let's say that this is their dive comp, and then they have some supports that don't matter. Okay, if your backline, you need to differentiate, is your backline mobile or immobile? Okay, your backline is mobile if it's something like this. Mercy, Juno is a very mobile backline. These people are very self-sufficient. They don't need help. They can get out on their own, okay? I mean, Juno largely. Let's just say she's self-sufficient here, because you can argue it for it, but whatever. Okay, if this is the case, you need to play flanks and hard rotations. Or you need to play a galaxy away, okay? You need galaxy spacing. This is how you should play, okay? Juno just needs help with Tracer. Yeah, it's going to depend on... Like, there's a little bit of nuance to it, but we're just going to skip that conversation. Okay, this is how you should play in this situation. Okay, if you have immobile support, so let's say you're playing Brigana, you should play with them. Play with Brigana. Play with. Okay. And light angling. Okay, this is how you play the matchup. So it's just going to depend on what your backline is. This is the most matchup dependent thing for Cassidy in the entire game. You got into a game with TikTokers. If you get into a game with me, then you'll be in a game with TikTokers in the near future. Anyway. This is it, I see. Okay, here. We rotate to play with our team against the dive matchup. Here, we initially look to open up an angle, then we see that they're playing dive, and we're like, you know what? I'm going to play with the team. This is fine. You can either do this. Thanks so much for the VOD review, Mr. Tail. No problem at all, bro. Next time you have a VOD, let me know, and we can take a look. But, yes. So, there's 2 ideas. You can either play with your team, or you can have galaxy spacing. Okay, pick one. I don't really care. They're both, like, good. Equally good. Or arguably equally good. If you have galaxy spacing, if the monkey goes on you, you're actually a gajillion miles away, and then your team can clean up everyone else, and you're just a sacrifice. What's your favorite map for Cass? Lijiang Tower or Busan? Probably Busan. I love Busan. I love Busan for Cassidy. It's really good. One of the best, if not the best Cassidy map in the entire game. Busan, Lijiang Tower is good too. We have a map tier list that I made a long time ago. I love Numbani. Everyone, most of the people you ask don't like Numbani, but I think Numbani is a great cast map. I love Numbani. But people don't like me for that. Suravasa is also another good cast map. The worst cast maps are definitely Paraiso, Havana, Circuit Royale, and Blizzard World. Without a doubt in my mind. Those are all the worst cast maps because there's just no playmaking. Shambali is a little bit higher because there's just more playmaking on that map. Because there are routes you can take. But yeah. There's a, if you check the updates channel in the Discord, you'll see a tier list. Just scroll up a little bit. What about Dorado? It's a great cast map. Great cast map. Generally winning, you should be picking Dorado. Just because after the rework, there's a lot of really good rotations you can make. There's a lot of really... If you go to some of my older VOD reviews, you can find guides on how to play the map, basically. I just explained the map pathing. Anyway. So here we are. We choose to play with our team, which is fine. Oh, you got Yukari on the other... Oh, wait. Yukari's on your team and Numbers is on your team. I just realized. So you have a Mercy one trick and a May one trick on your team. This is great. Okay. This was last week. Oh, I see. Your duo was the Mercy this game. Oh, I see. Okay, this is really good angling against dive. I wouldn't have rolled there. Not a lot of reason to roll here. So here, bang, shoot this guy. Who's shooting you in the air? No, you're not even getting shot in the air. Just land. Because you kind of need roll to get here and then roll backwards, honestly, or in this tracer duel. So I don't really like the roll, but it's not terrible. So here we just... Okay, this is fine. All of this is fine so far. So as you can see, basically everything Timmy or Denny in the game is doing is just angling against dive and good space management, right? Notice how he's not walking toward the enemy team if he doesn't have to. He's very far away. Chase the tracer off the angle. Why does he do this? Because the tracer's going to cow point, okay? So he has to mark it. He is the only one here that can conveniently mark her. Everyone else has to go a long distance to do so, like the Diva, like the May, like the Juno, who are all holding main. Okay, so this is why he marks the tracer flank. And notice how far he is. Look, notice, this is very important. Notice that he's not at the door frame. He is far back. Why? Because he doesn't want to get dove. Okay? The further you are away, the harder it is for you to get dove. It's good spacing. Good job. This is this small detail, but very important. Small detail, but extremely important. Okay. Notice this again. Notice how far away he is to spam down main. Is he slightly out of his effective range? Yes, but he has good distance management to the dive core. He's very far away. He's very unlikely to get dove. He walks forward there for, I don't really know why. He knows there's no one in main. He hears the monkey on his right side. He walks to kill the tracer or whatever. I think that's fine. But notice he takes that risk and he still has roll off cooldown. So now when the monkey jumps in, he can roll backwards, which I predict is what he's going to do. Yeah. So this is good. Good Deadeye on the Wu Yang. He saw the Wu Yang was half HP. Pop Deadeye to kill him. It just guarantees to kill. Here, I think it's fine. It's a high pressure situation. And it puts additional pressure in main, which is going to force people out and give more space to your team. I think it's fine. Good kill on monkey. Let's look at this. This is a spacing issue. Your idea should not have been to walk into the room. Your idea should be to back up and just shoot like this. So spacing issue here. I don't really know why you walk in the room. Because look, if you also came here, the tracer would still be on your screen here. I think at this point you realize you messed up and then just walked in the trade out. Is that true? I think that looks like what it is. I'm pretty sure you just walked in the room because you realized you were screwed. Yeah, okay. So the mistake Timmy made here. So this is good pattern. Okay, so this is good from Timmy. So he makes one mistake, which is this. He makes this mistake. This rotation like this is wrong. What he should be doing is he should be rotating like this wider so he can be on the outside of the fight. That way people who are inside the fight are going to be on his screen. Okay. He wants to be on the outside of the fight here as Cass. You never want to be like in the middle. You're not a Reaper. You don't need to be point blank. Okay. So this is a bad rotation. And he actually ends up getting punished on this rotation by this Tracer. Right? If he made the rotation wider like this, he would be on the staircase and actually have the Tracer on his screen. But what Timmy understands is he said, oh, shoot, I'm screwed. And then instead of just dying aimlessly, he trades out with this Junkrat because the Junkrat's on his screen. He says, I'm just going to kill Junkrat. And then he dies. Okay, so this is good. He made a mistake, but he understood that he did make a mistake and then looked for value where he could. So this is why he's in Masters, right? The situation happens a lot. You're not going to make the right decision every single time. Okay, it's bad spacing, by the way. You should be further away. Here. If we want to be nitpicky, you should be here. And it does matter. You should be here. Because when you roll out, you can roll backwards this way. Here, you have to roll backwards to the staircase and walk out. It's worse. So you should be here right now. Not here. It does make a difference. So slightly bad spacing there, but right idea, right? That's a good roll out, and we punish the monkey engage. So yeah, it could have improved that slightly. I would still be on the angle. I don't really know why you give up, why you look main here. You know the monkey just died. I would just stop the Tracer from doing anything. Stand here, stop the Tracer from engaging on you. I mean, you might have the idea that you can look at this two ways. You can look at it from marking her like this with this angle, because if she does come and push you out, you can rotate back to your team, or you can play it from this angle, which is going to be more isolated, but you deny more space from the enemy Tracer. You can think about it either way. But this is more isolated. So if you get like pulse bombed or something, you're screwed. So I don't really, you can pick whichever one you want there. But I think denying the rotation is definitely correct. I don't really know why you rotate out. I was thinking she had ult. Well, yeah, even if that's the case, you should still be looking at her, right? Because the monkey just died. No one's in main. Wanted to play back. I think that school of thought's fine, but I still would have marked the angle. But now Numbers is marking the angle, so now you don't have to anymore. So that kind of worked out conveniently. And why does Numbers mark the angle? I think Numbers marks the angle because you're not marking the angle, by the way. Yeah, he noticed you turned around, so he's marking the angle now. So you caused him to make this rotation. I think Numbers should be looking main here. But he has to do this because he can't. Well, if you guys let the Tracer in, it's losing for you. So he's not in main anymore. But now he goes back to main. And look, by the time he's back in main, they already have this main space. So this is your fault. You could have marked the Tracer. And this is like, and this is why like higher rank gameplay can be hard to understand sometimes. Because it's like this one small mistake from Timmy caused his whole team to lose like this whole space, like this whole front sided space for free. Because the Mei turned around to deal with the Tracer. And then now, because no one is helping the diva leaves. So it's like a chain reaction. It's complicated, but that's just the truth of the matter. That's why you need to mark the Tracer there. Now, I'm not saying you had to play on the like this far angle. You just need a marking like this, right? And then just rotate back. Nice shot. Okay, primal, whatever. Nice shots. Good angling. I like this a lot. Okay. Here, your idea should be to back up, not walk forward, by the way. In Tracer situations like this, you want to be able to see as much space as possible. So here, don't walk towards the Tracer, back up and just wait till she moves into your LOS. Just like stand here. Because now she blinks backwards through you, look, and it makes it so much more awkward for you. And then here you would have been able to shoot the Tracer again. So you play that fight wrong. Nice job, though. Otherwise, great. Just a few minor mistakes. You're not aiming head level here. Why are you not aiming head level? Bad crosshair placement. Here, why you aiming body? Just aim head. And then I would play with your team. Once you see they're on Diva, I would just play with your team. Diva makes playing this map terrible. Okay, on the angle, force the Diva out. So I would just keep in mind your Mei's playing main here. I would still play this side of the map, but I wouldn't be spamming down main as much as you are. I'd be looking for this. And then you can also jump on this furniture and stand here. I'd be doing this. Shoot the Weaver, try to shoot the Weaver, stand here, jump here, shoot Diva, whatever, shoot Brig. That's how I'd be playing this. I think this is fine, but I think in terms of playmaking, you'd want to play on this angle because there's a chance you two-tap people or whatever. Force out backline, so on and so forth. I think you have more control over the outcome like that. And then here I would definitely... Yeah, here I would look to swing for backline. You see that Diva's low, so that's fine. Shooting Diva I think is fine here. And then I would go backline. I would try not to use flash there unless I really have to. You know, flash is fine there, never mind. I'm not gonna overthink it. Flash is fine. Shoot these guys. So the big decision that made the difference here is that Timmy did not go left room. This is the biggest decision that mattered. Like if we're thinking about in terms of like the decision that had the most impact. Timmy originally is going left room and then sees that they're on Diva. And then he says, okay, I'm not going to angle. Why? Because if Timmy angles against the Diva, he is going to die. He is 100% going to die here on the angle. Because Diva is really brutal for Cass to deal with. Yes. So that's why he doesn't go left. You just can't deal with the Diva here. You can't poke her on the walk up because she just turns the corner and she's already boosting on you and your dad, right? Same thing with her walking in main. There's just not a lot you can do. So Timmy doesn't go left and he instead goes right. Okay. If they were playing Ramatra, would Timmy go left or would Timmy go right? Thoughts? Timmy should go left if they're playing Ram. Yes. If they're playing Rhine, you can go left. If they're playing a brawl tank, you can go left generally. Because they're going to be slower, right? If they're playing Winston, that's a special matchup. You could probably come left as well. Because of it's like you're in an awkward room. But I'm not going to go very far into that. It's more about the line of thinking, right? If the enemy team is playing a tank that can blow you up on an angle, like a Hazard, like a Diva, something like that, you shouldn't be playing very isolated with your team. Without your team, sorry. You should be playing with your team more because it makes it harder for them to punish you. So this is good play from Timmy. Very winning play from Timmy. I would have played the mid fight slightly differently here, but otherwise great. Nice job. This clearly shows that Timmy understands the dive matchup. Or at least the Diva matchup. Now they swap Ryan. Here, Timmy's doubled up with his man, by the way. What should Timmy do? Try to find... I would find a different angle. I would play left side. You should know by now that they're playing Ryan. You should have hit tab by now. I would have went left. But now your May rotate... Okay, so we just over... How do we die here? This is just a little bit sloppy. Yeah, I mean, the correct play would have been... You would have avoided this death if you just rotated off the virtue of not doubling up. And you know they're on Rhine now, so this angle is playable. So... that just looked a little bit sloppy. You got caught mid-rotation and got kind of outplayed, I'm going to be honest. But you should have not been there anyway, because you would have been on the left side with your good fundamentals. Okay. Nice. He hears Ryan on his right side, so what does he do? He ignores the Reinhardt and instead shoots backline. Perfect. This is excellent Cassidy gameplay. Here he sees that he's won, so he goes for the kill, whatever. I would have honestly just still ignored Ryan. He's gonna die. Just shoot these guys. But I can understand why you would turn, right? And then he understands it's time sensitive. He rolls back to the angle and shoots with silver bullet. Perfect. Okay, this is really good. Okay, I don't really like this Deadeye. The Reinhardt's dead. The Brig is 10 billion years away. You don't need this space. So this Deadeye, I don't think is good. And you just get stunned out of it anyway. You honestly probably shouldn't get stunned there. I don't know why she does that, but I don't think it's good either. I think the idea that Deadeye is bad. You just don't need the space. You don't need the space. You're not gonna kill anybody here either. The angle's too tight, so they can just unswing you very easily. So I don't like this Deadeye. This is a losing Deadeye, to be honest. It just doesn't make any sense. And no one's overextended either, so you're not isolating someone with it. So not a good Deadeye. Yeah, and then you're just on that the back foot that whole fight because of the Deadeye. That's okay. Happens. Here, would I have path this way? So here I see my whole team on the left side. I would not, they're playing Ryan. Why did we go left? This is an awareness issue. They're all here. Why did we go left? Awareness issue. Go right side, open up the angle, and be the win condition. So this is, yeah, awareness. Every time you die, look through the wall to see where your team is. Because now we have no one on the left side, and now you forced to use roll. You do end up going right too. Okay, well, I mean you identify it in the mid fight, but you could have identified it before the fight even happened. No, you don't. You just die and left. I think it's probably this fight that you go right. Here you go right. Yeah, you just need to do it last fight. You need to go right side last fight. This is good. And I wouldn't... He probably wins this fight. Oh, look. That guy dies. Good. I actually like that you drop on the Sombra here. I think it's fine. Oh, look at that. You win the fight. You would have just won the last fight, too, if you did the same thing. And then they touch. Here we don't stage. You need to go stage. Here, you might be thinking they won't touch here, but whatever. If we want to think about this properly, you should be staging right now. So what you should be doing is coming right side for sure. I draw on voice chat at this point. Okay. I think that's whatever. If we want to think about it properly, you should be coming top right and playing the window for sure. Or playing left side mini room, either one. I don't really care. I think they're both good. You really want to play left side more on when they are coming up to you. Like in the poke phase, this is generally where you want to be. But if you're ever like in a late fight or they're coming point, you want to be more on this side of the map. So it's just going to depend. And this situation coming to the coast side of the map was actually better. So this was a staging issue. And then we go Tracer. Okay, cool. Very winning. Yeah, now I get you. I get you with the VC thing. Yeah, you're good. I'm not worried about it. But I'm just saying, like, if we wanted to be correct about that, that's how you would fix it. But your Oasis looked very winning. Very winning. Other than you just have some mistakes that get you killed, like walking. You should be thinking about in those mid fights with the Junkrat and the Tracer, you should be walking wider, right? Being on the outskirts of the fight, not the inside of the fight, right? And then you had that one issue where you just went the wrong way. You should have went right instead of left, and you could have got that decision by looking through the wall to see where your team was. Otherwise, great gameplay. Look, climbing. Good job. Well played into the dive matchup. When I die, I look where my team is. Yeah, I can tell you do it more often than not, which is why I didn't like beat you up for it. But I'm just saying the reason you lost that fight is because you went left instead of right. So there's not really a lot. That wasn't like I mean, you won very clearly because you understand the game. So great job. You do it sometimes. Okay, then it's just something to keep an eye on. Anyway, so I think that is going to be it for today. We did 3 VOD reviews. I'm losing my voice. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm losing my voice. Is this the end of the stream? I think we're going to wrap it up unless... I don't really know. I'm kind of losing my voice here, so I think we do wrap it up. I think... So our next stream is going to be Friday. Normally we run for 2.5... This is like pretty much on par for what we normally do. It's like normally 2.5 hours to 3 hours is the stream. Coaching streams. If we had more students, like if I had like 4 different students every time, then we'd probably do more. But we just don't. We got like a few regulars right now. It's also because I'm not making videos and there's a whole bunch of different issues to it, but we could be getting more people in here. I also don't post on the Reddit as I should, and there's a bunch of things going on. But anyway, yeah, we normally go for about 2.5 to 3 hours for the coaching streams. It's mostly him in Montana. Yeah, right now. like a couple months ago before Timmy was here, that we had like an additional 3 or 4 regulars. Like Wahoo Rin was another guy, and Jason was another guy who shows up sometimes as well. It's just, you know, the times change. But I also haven't uploaded videos or anything in a while. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, I keep getting lost off track here. We normally go for about 2.5 to 3 hours. I do the coaching sessions every Monday and Friday at 5:30 p.m. EST, and we go from there. I'd sometimes do gameplay on the weekend. I've just been tilted. Trying to hit GM by Christmas. This dude's definitely gonna hit GM by Christmas. It's literally not. It's not even negotiable. He's gonna hit it. But yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today, guys. My name is Once Told Tale, or Audaz Tale is my main account. I am a GM1 in consistently top 500. Cassidy one trick. I have tons of hours on this hero across many accounts, and I coach exclusively this hero. In the future, I will have additional heroes in the pool to coach as well, but for now it's just Cassidy. And you can join the Discord to get free coaching. It is in the YouTube description. You can also do exclamation mark Discord in the Twitch chat to join the Discord and submit a VOD for free reviews on Mondays and Fridays. And thank you guys for tuning in once again. Thank you, Pillboy and Timmy, and everyone else who has been here today for tuning in. And I hope all of you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.